Champs, the Louisiana State University Tigers, a short time ago before an event later with the men's champion, UConn Huskies. One LSU player collapsing during the event. Tigers forward Samaya Smith taken for care by the White House medical team after a brief pause. This as White House and congressional negotiators try to iron out budget issues. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy wants spending addressed before the debt ceiling is raised.
Work mandates for people to receive some federal benefits are still outstanding. The GOP secured an increase in defense spending, but McCarthy would not comment on money specifics. McCarthy lieutenants believe the speaker can deliver a deal for the GOP.
Fox's Chad Pergram on the Hill. They're up against a deadline as early as June 1st to avoid default. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He's got ties to the Hoosier State. 75 degrees, sunny in downtown Indianapolis. Your radar clear. Tonight's low all the way down to 51. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. An accused child sex trafficker could be in Indiana. Donnie Burgess reports.
Donald Eugene Fields II is the latest addition to the FBI's most wanted list. He's tied to a child sex trafficking case out of Missouri, and the FBI says Fields has family in Indiana and Kentucky and occasionally visits Florida. He's around 6 feet tall, 219 to 235 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes with a tribal tattoo on his right shoulder. If you know anything that could lead to his arrest, the FBI has a $250,000 reward. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
3 people have been found guilty of murder 3 years after Chris Beatty was shot and killed. Marcus Anderson, Elijah Jones, and Nakiah Shields were the 3 found guilty Friday. Beatty was killed during the riots in downtown over the death of George Floyd. There are 2 more suspects in the case. Indy Mayor Joe Hogsett's new gun control proposals are completely illegal under current state law, says gun rights attorney Guy Relford. He says even if Hogsett could somehow get these policies passed, it would create a legal nightmare for you.
What we don't need is this patchwork of inconsistent regulation going from town to town, city to city, county to county.
He says the mayor would likely lose because of the state's Firearm Preemption Act. You can expect it to be warm and dry if you're headed out to the Indy 500 this weekend, but there are some things to keep in mind. John Herrick reports.
The high temperature at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Sunday will be somewhere in the upper 70s.
Speaking of race day, if you're down at that area, it could be feel even warmer than the upper 70s thanks to all that concrete and all the people there. So it will feel more like the 80s then.
Chad Swain with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis recommends that you always stay hydrated and wear sunscreen, and he expects temperatures to get even warmer next week. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
It's prime home selling season. Right now, home buyers are actively looking. With mortgage rates moving lower, now is the ideal time to get your home sold for maximum dollar. Make the smart choice. Hire the agent I recommend, Mark Dietl. Maybe you're a growing family or working from home, and that means you need more space. Just like Rob and Haley in Indianapolis. They had another child on the way, and they needed a bigger home. They hired Mark Dietl. He launched an amazing marketing plan, sold the home in a couple of weeks, plus Mark's team found them a new, bigger home, all in less than a month.
There's only one agent that we recommend and trust on the Hammer and Nigel show, and it's Mark Dietl. And the reason we trust him is because of the guarantee. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Call him right now, 317-755-4232, or go online to markdietl.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, looking at the south side, northbound 37 stop-and-go traffic right now from Epler up to 465 because of road construction. Then we have inbound 69. I mean, it's already jamming right now. 106th Street down to 82nd Street over in Speedway. Lots of people at the track, so you can expect 16th Street to be stop-and-go from the roundabout over to Olin in both directions. Traffic sponsored by LASIK Vision Institute. The LASIK Vision Institute is making LASIK even more affordable. Get $1,000 off LASIK when treated in May. That's $500 off per eye plus guaranteed financing. Visit LASIK.com for details. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Just a chance for a few sprinkles on Sunday. Otherwise, a dry and warmer weekend. Tonight, not as cool, low 51. Saturday, warmer, high of 80. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist David James for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Do you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it.
Oh, man. Indy Mayor Boss Hogsett putting on his big boy pants, pounding his chest, acting all tough. He announced an update to the city's gun violence reduction strategy, Hammer.
So there are so many things we can say about this, but we want to make sure everybody's on the same page. We don't want things to be taken out of context. So we're going to play you his exact words, and then we'll have a conversation about it, okay? So this is what Boss Hogsett wants to roll out to the City County Council.
We will submit to our City County Council a package of gun safety measures that, if passed, will immediately become law should state preemption be abolished for the city of Indianapolis.
Boy, there's a lot of key words there. If is a big word I heard in there. If
the legislature, if a Democrat governor were to be happen to come into power here in Indiana, we're going to change the laws in this city.
And we're calling a press conference right now to do it because I'm running for re-election.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about. He has no ability to do these things. Let me make that clear.
He's a joke.
I'm not Guy Relford. I'm not the gun guy, but I understand what the laws are in the state of Indiana, and unless there's a change in the governor's office, he can't do a damn thing. But here's what he wants to do.
Raising the minimum age to purchase a firearm from 18 to 21. A complete ban on the sale of military-style guns, such as the AR-15 used in our most recent attack on IMPD officers. This package will end permitless carry policies opposed by law enforcement, as well as the concealed carry of handguns anywhere in Marion County.
I love it. I love it when he invokes IMPD as if they're on his side. And
right.
Like he uses IMPD when it's politically expedient for him to do so. Otherwise, he's throwing them under the bus. The Aaron Bailey situation where the guys involved in that were cleared by 3 different committees, still threw them under the bus.
I'm sure Boss Hogsett's just fine with Drayshawn Reed's family getting that big settlement, too.
Sure, absolutely he is.
Such a pandering clown that he knows he can't do this because let's just say that the city county council goes along with what everything he has to say. And that's probably going to be how it works because it's a super Democrat majority. These things can only take place if there's a change in Indiana state law. And that means the next General Assembly and the next governor of the state of Indiana would have to be the ones that change the state law. But he's going to walk up here and act like he's Mr. Tough on crime and I'm the best friend with the IMPD because he's running for re-election.
No.
That's all that it is.
They turned his back on him during the prosecutor's race. It's evident that this has no teeth to it. It's purely political, and it's purely just a way to pound his chest before an election coming up in November.
And when Joe Hogsett, Diamond Joe, Boss Hogsett, acts like he's shocked and upset about the crime in the city, well, you know what, Joe? Who's been the mayor of this city the last couple of years? It's been you. And where were you when things got the toughest in the city? When this city 3 years ago, we're a couple days away from the 3-year anniversary of the riots in Indianapolis. No one knows where you were at except for your inner circle who had to put tweets out on your behalf.
Where's Boss Hogsett? Where is he?
He says he knows that this will upset the gun lobbyists.
Any discussion of gun safety efforts is inevitably politicized.
You're the one that's
I have no doubt that the efforts announced today will draw the ire of the gun lobby.
Well, if going along with the rights given to people per the law is drawing the ire of the gun lobbyists, I guess you're right there, Joe. Again, this whole thing is just one big pandering mess. And if there was anything else that I took out of this speech yesterday was it sounds like Joe Hogsett might be taking some shots at the prosecutor's office, might be taking a few shots at Ryan Mears here. Going to play you a couple different sound bites. Also announced were some changes for the city prosecutor's office, including adding 3 criminal attorneys serving as special assistants to prosecute gun violence offenders federally.
It will result in stiffer penalties that require the offenders to serve a minimum of 2/3 of their sentence.
So maybe I'm reading too much into that, but it sounds like Boss Hogsett, even Diamond Joe, says these folks that are repeat offenders aren't serving enough time.
Okay, because that's what the top cop here in Indiana said, Superintendent Doug Carter. Failure to prosecute. That's the problem. And so wait, so are these changes that he can actually make? Because this gun BS.
Right, the gun BS he can't do.
It's the single dumbest thing I've ever heard.
He also announced that the prosecutor's office has been instructed, that's a key word there, instructed to penalize people who maintain properties where gun violence takes place on a habitual time.
Know that we will no longer tolerate you forcing taxpayers to pick up the tab for your irresponsible business practices.
So if you've got a business or a home or whatever it is, and the cops have to keep going back and back and back to it for the same ridiculous crap, they can label it as a nuisance, and now he's got new prosecutors to kind of go over there and try to lay the hammer down, so to speak.
You think this is a dig at Mears?
It's a little bit, because if you got to remember, of this gruesome twosome we're talking about here, Hogsett and Mears, Hogsett never wanted Mears to begin with. Mears wasn't Joe Hogsett's pick, but he kind of got stuck with him. And then Mears won re-election, because Ryan Mears took over after the death of Terry Curry, right. And the replacement process, Joe Hogsett's choice, didn't get picked.
Well, look, if the gun stuff notwithstanding, I guess, of course, cracking down on repeat habitual offenders is a good thing. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at this interview that Doug Carter, superintendent for the state police, did with Fox. Quote, the failure to prosecute and the failure to track individuals is basically what he's talking about here. About 65% of all suspects in violent crime just in Indianapolis alone had been in the system before, have committed a violent act before. I think we're missing an opportunity to pay a lot of attention to that individual with a high probability of committing another violent crime. He's talking about Mears here.
Yes.
What he's talking about Prosecutor Mears. And, of course, Fox 59 reached out to Prosecutor Mears. He's a coward and declined to comment in any way, shape, or form because he's a scared little boy and doesn't want to be held accountable for any of the violence that's happening in the city.
Imagine being too much of a lunatic for Boss Hogsett. That's kind of where Ryan Mears sits here. Let that sink in for just a moment. Think about everything you know about Boss Hogsett and how Ryan Mears may actually be worse than this guy at safety in the city. That's laughable, but that may be true. Now, there are some things, and I can't even believe I'm going to say these words. There were some things I liked that Joe Hogsett said. So he announced that the IMPD recruits will now be paid $72,000 in their first year, $75,000 in their second year, and veteran officers will get a 3% retention bonus of up to $2,500. And he's also putting a couple $1 million, I think $15 million to be precise, in these neighborhood grants. Now, you say that and it sounds great, but keep an eye on where that money really goes and what it pays for. Because if it's more peacekeepers that don't do anything, it's a waste of money.
And by the way, keep in mind, you can throw all the money at this problem you want. Bring in more police officers, great. More money for police, awesome. I'm liking it, I'm all for it. But if you have this habitual problem of failure to prosecute repeat violent offenders, then nothing's going to change.
And we're going to have Guy Relford in studio coming up just about an hour from now, a little less than an hour, just after 4 o'clock. So Guy Relford's going to respond to all the things that you heard from Joe Hogsett. Trust me, you will not want to miss that. Matt Bear's got to look at the roads.
Yeah, Hammer inbound, 65 stop-and-go traffic, 21st Street to Meridian Penn. East side Lawrence, northbound 465 stop-and-go after 70 up to East 56th Street. Inbound 69 stop-and-go, 96 down to 82nd. Traffic sponsored by Donate Life Indiana. Organ donation is a gift from the heart. Say yes next time you're at the BMV. Learn more at donatelifeindiana.org. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Jason on Twitter tweets at us, at Hammer and Nigel. Boss Hogsett reminds me of a teacher in grade school. When little Johnny would act up, he would punish everyone in the form of a collective punishment. That's kind of what Hogsett does with the guns, right? It's the guns problem. It's the guns' fault. Too many guns. What about all the violent repeat offenders that are out on the street? It's still the guns. Okay, fine. Sunshine 76 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Matt Bear will join us in studio next.
Hey, if you're somebody that spends a lot of time in their garage like I do, there's a TV out there, got the kids' toys, my tools, beer fridge, spend a lot of time in the summer in my garage. That's why Galaxy Concrete Coatings came in and fixed my old cracked garage floor and turned it into something beautiful and brand new. And they did it in as little as a day, and it's 4 times stronger than my old garage floor. My new Galaxy Concrete garage floor is out of this world. Check out their website, get a quote, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or give them a call, 751-9070.
I can't wait for what's next, even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
At Diamonds Direct, we know your first impression of us is probably bridal jewelry. Engagement rings, wedding bands, and yes, you're right, there's a reason we're the nation's premier bridal jewelry destination. But you're missing out if you don't also think about Diamonds Direct for jewelry gifts for other special moments, like birthdays, graduations, sweet 16s, anniversaries. Our collection of fashion jewelry is second to none. Cases filled with rings, bands, pendants, bracelets, colored gemstones, beautiful jewelry starting at around $300. Jewelry boxes across America are being filled with our diamond classics, like stud and hoop earrings and stunning tennis bracelets. Everyday jewelry that you can wear with anything. And know this, the same quality and value you appreciate in our bridal collections, you'll find as well in our fashion jewelry. No compromises. So as you celebrate all the amazing moments of your life, remember Diamonds Direct. Let us help you celebrate with a gift of lasting value. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Details, store hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Hey, Jeff Chapman here. Lordy, I can't believe Chapman turns 40. Since 1983. Heck, I was still in my disco days back then. You know, staying alive. Well, anyway, if your AC or furnace is having trouble staying alive, you know what to do. Just call the man for all seasons, Chapman. We'll celebrate 1983 with $1,983 off a new system just because I can. Chapman Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Drains. Proud partner of Bryant. Whatever it takes. ChapmanHeating.com. 40 years. Man, I'm old.
Gilbert worked in retail and restaurant management for 14 years. It was time for a change.
I recognized where I was at was vulnerable to the whims of the economy.
Then he heard about My Computer Career. Gilbert went for it.
In as little as 7 months, I got all of my certifications at a fraction of a cost for college.
He became an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
I can work from anywhere. I have more time for my family as well.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
This hour powered by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits dealer.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Oh, man. Matt Bear, WIBC Traffic Beat. in studio with us. How you doing, my man?
I'm outstanding. Gorgeous race weekend coming up. I can't wait, man.
Sunday's going to be crazy, though.
Yeah.
Are you on the call, so to speak, here?
I'm working Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm going to be here. And
I mean, that's like going to be almost. I mean, I don't think it's a sellout yet, but I think Bowles. I heard Doug Bowles.
It's real close.
It's really
Kurt
close.
Darling just got back. Kurt Darling from the WIBC Newsroom just got back from the track. He says in a decade, it's the most people we've seen out there for Carb Day. So I think that's really cool. I mean, this has a lot of juice, this race coming up in this race weekend. And I want to say this. I mean, I grew up with the race in my culture, with like in the fabric. Grew up in northern Indiana, all right, but not central Indiana. And I grew up very comfortable saying that the Indianapolis 500 was a huge part of my life. We had nothing compared to the way people do it here in Indianapolis. I mean, it is huge. I feel like I am so missing out on this huge event, this huge race that everybody's going to. I mean, it's fantastic. You can't tell me there's any event in any other city that happens with so much emotionality, with so much civic pride than what we do here. And it's cool. It's done differently here in Indianapolis, you know?
You know who else is missing out? All of us, because the fan gets to go out to the track all the time. We have said, hey, let us do our show out there, and we always get a very polite, very subtle middle finger.
It's polite, though.
It is very polite.
A polite bird.
By the way, I can always tell when Matt Baer joins us in studio. Like, if you can't tell, the live viewers on the stream, the camera stream, always go up when Matt comes in here. You are a fan favorite, my friend.
Oh, man.
You're like the Ed Carpenter of
right.
WIBC.
You're the Ed Carpenter and the Tony Kanaan of the live stream.
I'm the station mascot. I'm the station footnote. No, I appreciate that. I don't think it's true, but I mean, this is why I love Twitter. Everybody talks about this. What, Elon Musk? Is that his name? I don't do politics. Right. I do traffic. I don't do politics. But everybody talks about. Yeah, I think Twitter's great because I get to talk to everybody just like regular people, and I think that's so much fun. You know?
So will Twitter be active on race day?
Oh yeah. Matt and traffic. Here's the thing. We have a good plan we do every year in the traffic center about getting the information out. I feel very confident about our race coverage coming up this Sunday as well. Feel free to be a part of that. We need your help.
What is your advice to somebody who is going to the race for the first time this year, but has never had the, and I'm using air quotes, experience of driving into the track?
Uber. It's easy. Yeah, I mean, it's an easy answer for me, but that's how I think, guys. I mean, I don't have an issue with the drinking and driving anymore, and if you can Uber and you can go do that thing, you're in the Uber lot. You leave the Uber lot. It just seems so easy to me.
There's an Uber lot?
Yeah, there's been an Uber lot. Yeah.
There's
I didn't know that.
Like a pick-up, drop-off location. Like you see a lot of the hotels in Vegas do that.
No kidding. I did not know that.
Yeah, there's always been like a specific place to do that. And I'm like, why would you do it any other way? Unless, I get it. If it's part of your tradition to drive to the track, that's awesome. Have at it. But if it's your first time, like you were saying.
Right.
Yeah, use a ride share.
Now, even if you're using a ride share, though, that doesn't mean your Uber driver is going to go through the police barricades. You're going to be stuck in traffic for a long time.
Depends on your Uber driver. I've had a few good ones. That's
it's
exactly.
all gridlock around the track.
It is total gridlock. You name it, all your favorites. Lafayette Road, 10th Street, Rockville Road. It's all going to be gridlock. But the thing is, if you do take an Uber, you can at least sleep in the back and sleep it off.
One of the things I always hear you say on race day, Matt, because I listen to you when I'm driving into the track, is that it's like around 10 o'clock. Well, if you're just now leaving, you're not going to make it in time.
That's one of my favorites. I can't remember.
10 o'clock.
We're taking the shuttle, but we're leaving like at 8:30, I think.
I think we're doing the same. You're leaving from downtown. I'm leaving from the airport.
It's such a great thing, but I just wish everybody the safest of travels and please be careful. And just have fun.
Do you have a web blog or anywhere people can see a list of ways to the track and closures or things like that?
I tried to streamline all of this down to the Twitter, and that's where I put my maps. Okay. That's where I put everything at Matt in Traffic. That is really the best way we do it. And
at Matt in Traffic?
At Matt in Traffic. Okay. Indiana, I guess. I heard we have really good signs on the road right now with Indiana in them.
They're at the border.
Yeah, they're at the border right now.
They're very expensive, but
it was a great investment.
They are something.
They're They're ugly as hell. But it's Matt in traffic, at Matt in traffic, and I love talking to you guys. Everybody, it's one of my great pleasures of this work. So yeah, hit me up.
Matt, we're going to play you a little piece of audio here. It's all week long, Nigel and I have been sharing our experiences of being out at the track. We call it Tales from the Track. And when it's done, I want to hear a tale from the track from you, if possible.
Boy. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Allister Jr. has the lead. One more turn to go. Here they come. Coming to the finish line.
And now, Hammer and Nigel present
Tales from the Track.
Yeah, so I'm at the trough in the men's room, and this dude saddles up right next to me, lifts up the purple skirt he's wearing, and starts doing his business. So I got about 10 beers in me already. I look over and say, "Hey, man, nice skirt. Love the color." And he said, "This ain't no skirt. It's a kilt made out of Crown Royal bag."
And these are all true stories we've been sharing all week long, Matt.
And Matt, you're familiar with the Crown Royal bag, I'm sure, being a former drinker.
Yeah,
Every time you buy a bottle of the Canadian Crown, it comes in a very nice purple
bag.
Felt bag. Yes.
It's like you're
right.
Yeah.
This guy had fashioned a kilt out of it, sewn many together.
So, Matt Baer, do you have a kilt or trough or picking a fight with Steve Vittman story you'd like to share with us?
I'm just getting the visual on that kilt right now. I remember in high school when we went to the Indianapolis 500, our band kind of went around the track. It was really special, kind of a cool thing. And I was too much of a wuss to do this, but a couple of my friends got really stoned and drunk at turn 3.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was a very interesting
They weren't
ride.
alone, I can promise you that, Matt.
I know, right? But there was a lot of things that happened. There was one story I was thinking all the way through whether or not I was going to tell it, and I'm not going to do that this time because I could get in trouble.
No. That's not how it works around here.
I know. Part of the trip is our dance team had to go through the snake pit, and they wore T-shirts identifying themselves as the dance team, as you can imagine. The cat calling to these poor young women.
And this was Snake Pit back in the day.
This was Snake Pit in 1990s. Yeah.
Right.
This was the thing. We were all there. But yeah, and I'm not going to say some of the things they were saying, but I was like, why did you walk him through the Snake Pit? Why did you do that? We're from a small town. Do we have to act like it right now?
All right, Matt, what time is go time on Sunday?
I'm on at 6 a.m. I cannot wait. This is my Super Bowl, and I'm blessed that everybody's having me. Thank you.
And you are the best in the business, and there is nobody that will get people in and out to the track better than you, my friend.
Thank you, fellas. Love you all.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, if you're lucky enough to be a homeowner like I am, it does come with some headaches sometimes. I got like a bug problem. I got an ant problem in the kitchen, and my driveway is a mess. But I'm also an American Standard air conditioning owner. I don't have anything to worry about it when it comes to American Standard. If you need service, Hammer's going to tell you who you need to check out.
Family Heating and Air Conditioning, the Morris family and the staff. They're ready to hook you up this spring and summer. You could call Rachel, Marcus, or Malia today to make sure that AC unit is ready for what could be a hot summer. Family Heating and Air, always encouraging you to call them for a free second opinion if you've already got a quote from another heating and air company. If you feel like that quote isn't quite right, call Family, because nobody cares for you like family. 577-8077. That's Family Heating and Air, 577-8077. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Welcome to Hopes for the 500, presented by Hope Plumbing. I'm Brendan King. In the 2021 Indy 500, Alex Palou was just narrowly beaten by Elio Castroneves. 2022 saw him finish 9th. Is 2023 Palou's year?
When Jack Hope and Brad Persig built Hope Plumbing out of their garage, they had no idea their small plumbing company would have such an impact. You may know Hope Plumbing for their honesty, their customer service, and their community involvement. They're your real neighborhood plumber, and they care deeply about the safety of your home, but also about you and this city. When it comes time to choose a plumber, choose an honest one. Make Hope Plumbing part of your story and your victory. HopePlumbing.com.
Palou, the victor of the GMR Grand Prix just weeks ago, will look to become the first driver to sweep the GP and 500 since Simon Pagenaud in 2019. This has been Hopes for the 500, presented by Hope Plumbing.
While the warm weather has you feeling like new, get old with a money market account from Old National Bank and earn a 5.00% annual percentage yield. Whether you're saving up for something big or just for a rainy day, Old National is here for you. Earn 5.00% APY with our limited time 12-month introductory money market offer. To earn the promotional rate, account must be funded with a minimum of $10,000 not on deposit at Old National as of April 14th, 2023. Learn more at oldnational.com or visit a local banking center today. Offer not available online. Member FDIC. Old National Bank. Get old.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's easier said than done. 76 degrees and sunny in downtown Indianapolis. No rain on the radar, and it is supposed to stay that way. Tonight's low down to 51. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:31. The 2011 Indiana Firearms Preemption Act puts a complete stop on just about any local government attempt to regulate guns, which is why Indy Mayor Joe Hogsett has a tough legal battle, says gun rights attorney Guy Relford.
The thing to take away is it's a very, very broad prohibition of local governments regulating firearms. So everything that Mayor Hogsett is proposing is illegal under state law today.
Relford says if Hogsett goes the legal route, it could cost the taxpayers of Marion County. Though he's not a candidate for president yet, he sure is acting like one. The national debt is on the mind of former Indiana Governor and Vice President Mike Pence, who spoke in South Bend yesterday.
Literally, we could have $150 trillion in debt, which may mean nothing. You may think, I don't understand what that means, but the truth of the matter is it would put an incredible burden on American families and on the American economy.
Pence speaking at a charter school. Still, he's non-committal on a possible run for president in 2024. A South Carolina judge is temporarily blocking the state's new 6-week abortion ban. Governor Henry McMaster signed the restriction into law yesterday, claiming it would save the lives of unborn children. Abortion providers in the state have already filed lawsuits challenging that ban. It's a similar situation to what's been happening in Indiana. The LSU women's basketball team is at the White House to celebrate their national title.
And to the winners of this year's NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament, the LSU Tigers, congratulations.
Vice President Kamala Harris, it was the first ever title for the LSU women's basketball program. There could be some rain Sunday, says Chad Swain with the National Weather Service.
It looks like the rain should stay just east of central Indiana on Sunday, but we are keeping a close eye on it.
The good news, it's not supposed to be close to the track, and it shouldn't be affecting the Indy 500. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:33.
Michaelis presents Password. The word is basement.
Okay. Wet.
Rain.
Leaky.
Faucet.
Stinky.
Socks.
Moldy.
Underwear.
What? It's basement.
Oh.
Really? Moldy underwear?
Well, sometimes.
Ew. I did not need to know that.
Basement waterproofing and French drains. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Make it Michaelis.
Come on, take your basement back. 844-FIX-INDY.
With traffic at 3:34, here's Matt Bear.
Downtowners Vermont Street already closed between Meridian and Penn because of the big parade tomorrow morning. More streets are going to close around the War Memorial and Central Library, so be ready for that. Right now, out in Speedway, 16th Street, of course it's busy. It's carb day. You're going to have stop-and-go traffic. Please be patient. Inbound 65 stop-and-go 21st on in, and then inbound 69 stop-and-go 96 down to 82nd. Traffic sponsored by Donate Life Indiana. Organ donation is a gift from the heart. Say yes next time you're at the BMV. Learn more at donatelifeindiana.org. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And a forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Just a chance for a few sprinkles on Sunday. Otherwise, a dry and warmer weekend. Tonight, not as cool, low 51. Saturday, warmer, high of 80. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist David James for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a special guest on the DriveHubler.com hotline.
Tommy Pigott is the RNC Rapid Response Director. You can see some of his work on the very popular Twitter account at RNC Research. Tommy, let's get right into it here. Depending on who you're listening to, it sounds like some progress may be being made on this debt ceiling crisis. But the fact of the matter is that it shouldn't have taken this long. The Democrats refused. They went on the record and said, refused to negotiate anything. And now they're coming out and saying, well, we never said anything like that. I'm just curious as to your thoughts.
Well, that's exactly right. And the problem for the Democrats on that is that it's all on tape. They weren't shy about refusing to negotiate for 100 or some odd days. They purposely went out there and told everybody that they weren't negotiating on the debt limit. And then when push comes to shove, they finally, with only a few weeks left to go, enter negotiations. It's plain and simple to see Speaker McCarthy went to Joe Biden February 1st, even beforehand, saying, let's negotiate on this. Joe Biden delayed. And if you look at poll after poll, that's why the American people back the Republican position. Something like 60+% of the American people say, we need spending cuts. We need to make sure we have some fiscal sanity so that our federal government continues to work the way it should.
Yeah, the Democrats seem to be losing the messaging battle in regards to this crisis situation here. And even CNN is citing that poll that you just talked about. 60% of the public says, yeah, I think we are spending a little too much money. When CNN has a poll like that that says, yeah, these guys over here may be right, I think that warrants a conversation.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you can tell that the Democrats know they're losing the messaging war here because the facts aren't on their side and they continue to make up the facts. I mean, we've had some great fact checks at factcheckbiden.com, the fact check website that the RNC is running, really calling out Biden for trying to rewrite history, claiming they were always going to negotiate, claiming that he's done his job, claiming he's, quote, blameless on the debt limit, when in reality, he bears all the blame, and the American people blame him for this current debt crisis we're in because he's obstructing common sense, widely supported, broadly popular measures like work requirements for able-bodied people with no dependents. He's obstructing those measures because he's beholden to the farthest left of his party, and the American people see that, and that's why they blame him for this current debt crisis.
And typical reaction from the far extreme radical left in Congress, Representative Jayapal warning that any cuts would receive backlash in the streets, basically threatening violence in the streets if there are cuts in this. And I think that's pretty much par for the course when you're talking about the extreme left, threatening violence when they don't get their way, whether it's Chuck Schumer saying that a couple of years ago about Kavanaugh and Gorsuch, or Maxine Waters saying that about the Trump administration, push back, chase him, create a crowd. That's pretty much par for the course when it comes to the Democrats.
Well, it's really unacceptable rhetoric, yes. And it kind of goes to that old saying of when the facts aren't on your side, pound the table. I mean, that's what the Democrats here are doing in really spectacular fashion because the facts aren't on their side. I mean, if you look at the percent of spending that we have as compared to GDP, we're spending at a level that's really unheard of, really matching levels in World War II. So we're spending World War II level amounts of money compared to GDP, and we're not in wartime. This is peacetime. That's unsustainable. You cannot keep spending that. And then to go out a little bit further, Democrats claim they need to raise taxes. When you look at revenue as a percent of GDP, the federal government is collecting more revenue than ever, or on a historically high level. Only twice in history have they really collected this much revenue. So it's clear it's not a taxes problem. The only taxes problem Washington, D.C. has is that taxes are too high. It's a spending problem, and they need to reduce their spending. And the fact that they're pounding the table, crying Armageddon, shows how unseriously they're taking the problem of our debt crisis and really the crisis we're handing future generations if we don't get our house in order.
Tommy Pigott is the RNC Rapid Response Director, joining us here on the Hammer and Nigel show. You used the term rhetoric earlier, and when you think about what AOC said on the mic, on the floor this past week, basically saying that The American people want the government in their life. They want even more government in their life. Doesn't that just show how out of touch some of these people really are? Like, if you just get outside of your bubble just a little bit, I think most people, even most Democrats, would say, yeah, I'd be fine if the government just left me alone.
I completely agree. I think the American people are much closer to what Ronald Reagan believed, is that the most frightening phrase in the English language is the government. I'm from the government. I'm here to help.
Right.
The American people, and that's where I think the American people are. Shows how out of touch they are. And it shows also kind of the anti-American idea. This country was born and founded and built on people that took their destiny in their own hands. They took problems and really bent those problems to the will of man to make sure that we're going to build something new. We're going to conquer the unconquerable. We're going to build the unbuildable, that individual spirit that really built America. And instead of encouraging that spirit, instead of encouraging American families, the Democrats want to create a culture of dependency where the government knows best, where the government determines what is best. And that's really fundamentally an anti-capitalist idea, an anti-American idea, and I think anti the will of the American people.
That should be on every single campaign commercial between now and 2024. AOC basically saying, yes, the American people want more government in their life. Just so out of touch. But it's kind of on brand, though, isn't it, Tommy? Because this is the same party where your leaders are having press conferences every day saying they've cut the deficit by $1.7 trillion when we all know that's a load of crap.
It really is. I mean, the $1.7 trillion it has nothing to do with Joe Biden's policies. In fact, Joe Biden's policies have increased deficit projections. He's made the deficit problem even worse. His budget would explode the federal debt to something like $54 trillion in the next 10 years. So for them to go out there and claim fiscal responsibility shows at the very least their incompetence, because they clearly don't understand the impact of their policies if they truly believe that they've reduced the deficit. And so you can't really trust them on any of these fiscal matters when they're out there making such a bold claim that's false. And I think fundamentally, when they talk about wanting more government in people's lives, what they mean are those IRS agents knocking down your doors. But they don't mean police officers keeping the streets safe. They mean the government making sure that you're that they're coming after you with the IRS. They're making sure the government is determining what type of gas stove you have, what type of laundry machine you have, what type of car you drive, what type of energy you use. It's regulation and taxes. That's what they mean about having more government in your life. And that's the exact opposite of what the American people want and the American people need.
Tommy, real quick before we let you go here, the big news story this past week, Ron DeSantis making it official. He is now running for the presidency. When you look at this field of Republican candidates here, whether you like one more than the other, and I think we all know there's going to be some major back and forth here between now and the primary elections, but you look at the depth of this Republican field here, this is probably the best group of Republicans I've seen in a long time. Because in years past, when it came down to primaries, there was one candidate that was usually head and shoulders above everybody else, and then everybody else, for more, I don't know, the right poor choice of words here, was a zero. That's not the case here. You've got a lot of good candidates here. Talk about the depth of this field.
Well, it's an incredibly deep field, and it shows that Republican policies work because all of these candidates have a story to tell about how they've implemented Republican policies, either as ambassadors, as a president, as governors, as senators. The list goes on. They've implemented Republican policies, Republican ideas, and they delivered concrete results for the American people. And that's why these people are popular. That's why they have records to run on. And that's why I firmly believe, and I know, that a Republican is going to beat Joe Biden in 2024, because when you compare the record of these Republicans that have delivered prosperity and security for their constituents versus Joe Biden, who is a president that refuses to show up and do his job, there really is no contest there. The Republican wins hand down.
Tommy Pigott, RNC Rapid Response Director. Tommy, have a safe weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
You want to get in on this deal from Window Nation? It's the best deal of the year. 0% financing for 5 years. It's unheard of. Plus, Window Nation is going to give you 2 free windows with every 2 you buy. 866-90-NATION. Or go online at windownation.com. I'm a Window Nation customer. I have Window Nation windows in my house. They are the best, and they increase the value of my house.
Time is a factor if you want to get the most savings on this deal from Window Nation. Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. That's still in play. Any style of window, and there's no limit. The more windows you buy, the more free ones you get. But 0 interest for 5 years? This deal goes away at the end of the month, May 31st. So hustle. You have to call Window Nation now just to lock the deal in. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1, find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2, have a plan to get there. Step 3, make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all 3 with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Race into Thompson Furniture for the month of May. Save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic. Plus, for the entire month, with a Queen or King Tempur-Pedic set purchase, get a free Yeti cooler. Save up to 50% on Lazy Boy and save big on Indiana-made Hollywood outdoor furniture. Now through Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Hammer and I went to the Garage Food Hall at the Bottle Works District downtown. I had Jay's Lobster and Fish Market. It was delicious seafood. The lobster roll is incredible, but I was surprised when you didn't follow me there.
I was in a Cuban kind of mood. I went down to Palavana Cubano. I got that Cuban sandwich, which I believe was the size of my head. Portion sizes are awesome.
It's amazing. Jay's Lobster and Fish Market plus
Palavano Cubano, man. Baby. Stop by. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hey, Janie. You know what one of my favorite things about high school sports is? Seeing young fans in the stands cheering on their community.
I love watching elementary-age kids wearing their team's colors, holding up homemade signs, faces painted, just full of hopes and dreams. I'm Janie Ulmer.
And I'm Brian Lewis. We're both assistant commissioners of the Indiana High School Athletic Association. We're also both former student athletes who were once those young fans in the stands, dreaming about wearing a jersey for our high school one day.
When you support high school sports, you protect the next generation's dream of representing their high school with pride.
And you ensure the invaluable learning experience of education-based athletics is available for years to come.
So buy a ticket to your high school's athletic events, because it doesn't just support today's student athletes.
It supports tomorrow's too.
This is investing in your community. This is protecting their dream. This is your IHSAA.
Heat and cool your man cave, attic, garage, or bonus room without adding ductwork with Mitsubishi Electric ductless mini splits.
To find out more, just go to absolutecomfort.org.
Organ donation is a gift from the heart. Say yes next time you're at the BMV. Learn more at donatelifeindiana.org. That's donatelifeindiana.org.
The latest local news, commentary from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, podcasts. Listen to the station live whenever, wherever, online at WIBC.com.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer looking at northbound 465 northwest side. Stop and go 86th Street up to 865 in the eastbound lanes of 465 on the northeast side. Stop and go Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Safe travels leaving the track tonight for Carb Day. Traffic sponsored by Donate Life Indiana. Organ donation is a gift from the heart. Say yes next time you're at the BMV. Learn more at donatelifeindiana.org. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Sunshine and 76 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Yeah, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer over there with a special guest on the Drive, Hubler.com hotline.
Marcus Bailey is the meteorologist for Wish TV Channel 8. Marcus, this is your Super Bowl forecast, right? This is the most important forecast you will have all year long.
It's never easy, too, because it's always like, I'd love for there to be a race forecast where it's just a slam dunk, going to be a beautiful sun-filled 80-degree day. I think we're going to still be pretty good, but there always seems to be like you got to keep an eye on something. I think we're going to be good though as we go into race day. There's a sprinkle chance, I think, maybe later in the afternoon, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to kind of hinder getting all 200 laps in on Sunday.
I mean, I don't mind clouds.
Right.
Especially in race day, if you're sitting somewhere where the sun's just beating down on you.
Yeah.
Is it going to be cloudy on Sunday?
Yes, and I think that I feel 100% confident. And to your point, I think probably one of the best, most comfortable races I'd ever been to. It may have been 2013 when Kanaan won. It was cloudy. It was a little bit cooler, but it was still really comfortable, and you didn't have that sun beating down on you. And that's essentially what we're going to have here, guys. It's interesting because we've got this beautiful weather overhead right now. I mean, it's exceptionally dry out. The humidity is low, and we're going to have that tomorrow too. But unlike a lot of systems that we have that move west to east, we always we always mention the Terre Haute effect on race day. You kind of look down toward Terre Haute, whatever they're getting, probably going to be at the track maybe a couple of hours later. Everything this weekend, specifically Sunday, is actually going to be coming from the southeast. So it's more like down near Cincinnati and coming up that way. So this is a little bit more of an interesting forecast. So there's rain out in the Carolinas now. That's going to try to push our way, but the air is pretty dry. A lot of it's just going to fall apart. So I think mostly we're going to get a lot more clouds on Sunday. And then, again, I can't rule out maybe a sprinkle or two, but I don't think we get much more than that. Like I said, I don't think we have anything that's going to really limit or hinder getting all those 200 laps in, at least on the weather front.
What are you going to be? I can't remember. I think you told us what you were doing. Last year you were out in the infield, right?
Yeah,
talking to the people.
yeah.
Is that your role this year, or are you?
No, they actually, for whatever reason, trust me to actually do the whole weather forecast for the entire day.
So you're in the studio, or are you out on location?
No, I'll be over Gasoline Alley.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're traditionally, we've done weather on Wish TV for years, so I'll be stationed over there. I'll have a great view and be able to watch everybody kind of filing in as the track wakes up. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be my first chance to do weather live at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
What time do you get there?
Our call time at Wish TV at the station is going to be 3 o'clock.
Ooh,
yeah, I know, super early, right? And then we'll head over there shortly after that, after kind of a brief meeting, and we go on the air at 5 a.m. So it's kind of like, we'll rush over there from downtown, and we'll probably have about an hour to kind of get everything set up and get our game faces on and get ready to go for daybreak, and we're on from 5 to noon.
Marcus, I'll give you $1 if you set up your whole weather apparatus in front of AJ Foyt's garage and just tell him you'll be done in a minute when he wants to get in the garage.
It makes for really good TV, that's for sure.
Local weatherman beaten to a pulp on live television.
That's right.
I'm assuming you are not. Would you have the option of sticking around for the race if you wanted to?
Oh, I will absolutely. I love sticking around. Now I have to work, Memorial Day morning.
Wow.
So I don't know if I'm going to try to hang out. I'd love to stay the whole race, and the race would end at a decent time, but I don't know if I have the patience to kind of sit in traffic for another 3 hours after the race is over. But look, one of my favorite things to do, guys, and you guys have all grown up here. I've gone to the race a lot of times, but I love listening to the theater that is the radio play-by-play by all the great people that are on the IMS radio network. So I'll enjoy the start of the race. I love the pageantry of the beginning. I'll watch probably the first 100 laps, and then I'll probably scoot on out and listen to the radio for the rest.
We will have you covered. Your home of the Indy 500 is 93 WIBC. Marcus will have your weather on Wish TV. And Marcus, we appreciate the time, and have a great broadcast on Sunday, my friend.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy race weekend.
Guy Relford in studio responding to Hogsett next.
We are in prime time home selling season, and now home buyers are actively looking, especially with mortgage rates moving lower. Now is the ideal time to get your home sold for max dollar. Here's what happened with Tom and Carol in Indianapolis. They needed to sell their parents' house quick and move them into a place that could care for them a little better, and they heard about Mark Dietel on our show. They hired him, and he, was exactly as advertised. Multiple offers on the home. Mark Dietel made a challenging time much easier.
There's only one agent that we recommend and trust on the Hammer and Nigel show, and it's Mark Dietel. And the reason we trust him is because of the guarantee. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Call right now, 317-755-4232, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, Dietel, markdietel.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Contaminated meds took Carrie's vision and her hope. A shooting stole Ray's sight and his dreams. To those who experience it, vision loss is devastating. But the programs of Bosma's Center for Visionary Solutions offer a return to independence. Without your help, though, those programs can't continue. If you act now, you can double the impact of your gift to the Bosma Visionary Opportunities Foundation. Change lives today at bosma.org/donate.
I'm Dennis Reinbold for Dreyer & Reinbold BMW, Infiniti, and Mini at I-465 in Keystone, and Dreyer & Reinbold BMW, Infiniti, Subaru, and Volkswagen on US 31 South in Greenwood. For 53 years, we've been working hard to earn your continued business and grow within the communities that we support. Visit DryerReinbold.com to see our great selection of new cars plus incredible off-lease and quality trade-ins. All makes and models at DryerReinbold.com.
The night before the Indy 500, the celebration of May continues with the Firestone Legends Day concert featuring Brad Paisley. With Russell Dickerson and Jackson Dean. It's Firestone Legends Day, Saturday, May 27th, the night before the Indy 500 at TCU Amphitheater at White River State Park in downtown Indy. Get your tickets now at livenation.com.
Are your investments going nowhere? Here's a tip that always pays big dividends. Invest in yourself, your talent, your smarts, your skills. Maybe it's time to make that investment and start a career in IT or upskill to boost your current career. At My Computer Career, you can bank on us. We'll help you get the right skills and the right certifications to start or advance your IT career. IT keeps growing, so go with the growth at My Computer Career. The right training, the right timing, the right career. Invest in you at mycomputercareer.edu. Start now.
Lowe's knows Memorial Day savings, and now's the time to make your lawn and garden beautiful with outdoor essentials at Lowe's. Get gardening with Scott's Naturescapes 1.5 cubic foot mulch. Get 5 bags for $10. Plus, stock up on Bonnie 19.3 ounce vegetables and herbs, now just 3 for $12. Lowe's knows lawn care. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 5/31. Bonnie offer in-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Live life to the fullest. You hear that all the time, but it's easier said than done when you're in pain, right? Tony Katz here, and QC Kinetics is in the business of giving people back their quality of life, and not just providing that relief, but doing it in the most non-invasive way possible, utilizing regenerative treatments from your body's own natural biologics. So where is your joint pain? Your knees, your hips, your shoulder, your back? QC Kinetics concentrates these impactful treatments right at the source of your pain, directly applying healing properties where you need them the most. No surgery, no downtime, and patients are raving about the results. So what does living life to the fullest look like for you? Finally be able to play golf, hike, walk your dog, enjoy time with your family. Whatever it is, don't wait one more day. Get started today with a call to QC Kinetics for your complimentary consultation. QC Kinetics is in Eagle Creek, in Greenwood, and now in Carmel. So call 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and Carmel. 317-559-PAIN.
Coming up in 2 minutes, if Hogsett wants gun control, he'll have to fight in courts. His opponent for mayor wants to find a solution to Indy violence, and a man on an FBI wanted list has ties to Indiana. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You are listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
There's
There's no deal yet. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Heading into a holiday weekend and perhaps only a week away from a possible default, White House and congressional negotiators are still searching for common ground on budget issues, with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy still vowing to rein in spending.
They are out of step with the American public. They're out of step with their own party. And this is the difference. The American public wants to see us curb our spending addiction here that the Democrats have put us in.
The White House says the debt limit is driven by money already spent and that it's irresponsible to risk default. McCarthy says a bill to only raise the borrowing limit won't pass, but each side could lose votes depending on the details of any compromise package. A New York City woman facing charges after a machete incident has just lost her job at a second college, which says Shailene Rodriguez's contract will not be renewed. She had already been fired by Hunter College after video of the then professor holding a machete to a reporter's throat surfaced after a previous confrontation on campus with a pro-life group.
Rodriguez has claimed the Post reporter appeared to be trespassing after he didn't use the intercom at her building. Rodriguez was also seen on a dashboard camera allegedly chasing the two reporters with the machete on the street after they left. The Post was looking for a comment after Rodriguez had an encounter with pro-life students at Hunter College earlier this month, shoving pamphlets at the students in a profanity-laced tirade.
Fox's Laura Ingle in the reporter incident. She's charged with menacing and harassment, due back in court next month. A Chinese citizen and former Chinese citizen, both living in L.A., are facing federal charges. The Justice Department announcing they're accused of acting as unregistered agents of the Chinese government in a scheme to bribe a tax official and commit money laundering. Wall Street rallies ahead of a long weekend. The Dow up 328 at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He'd have to go to court. Sunny and 76 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. There's nothing on your radar, and you've got a low of 51 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. The mayor of Indianapolis is in for a tough legal fight if he chooses to start one, says gun rights attorney Guy Relford. Donnie Burgess reports.
Relford says Mayor Joe Hogsett's recent gun control proposals are illegal under current state law, but that's just one part of the problem.
What taxpayers in Marion County should know is that this can be a very expensive proposition for a local unit of government that chooses to ignore the preemption law, because it allows for the collection of damages, including liquidated damages of 3 times attorney's fees plus attorney's fees.
And that means Marion County taxpayers could be on the hook for the mayor's legal battle, which Relford says he would most likely lose. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Hogsett's Republican opponent for re-election says violence in the capital city is out of control.
What we see in the news when we wake up, we come almost jaded to. You know, all the flashing IMPD squad cars that are responding to the shooting of the day or the hour or the evening. We have not nearly enough police protection on the streets of Indianapolis.
Jefferson Shreve tells 93 WIBC's Kendall and Casey that the city needs to hire more police officers and be tougher on criminals. A man from St. Louis who has ties to Indiana and Kentucky has found himself on the wrong top 10 list. It's the FBI's most wanted fugitives. Donald Fields, a 58-year-old, is accused of sex trafficking at least one child in Missouri between 2013 and 2017. A warrant was issued in December for his arrest. The FBI says he has relatives who live in Indiana and Kentucky, and he's also known to visit Florida. If there's any rain Sunday, it's not supposed to be anywhere near the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
It could be in the Far East part of Indiana. We're still waiting to see exactly how this area of low pressure develops.
Chad Swain with the National Weather Service. He says it'll be mostly dry on Memorial Day and most of next week, too. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Indy, finally springtime, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Edwina did. She called Rhino Shield.
Over the years, I had to touch up the house. I just got to the point where I couldn't spend any more money on the outside of the house, and when I saw Rhino Shield, I thought that was the answer to my problem.
Rhino Shield's not paint, it's better.
I'd had painters here before, and it was usually quite a disaster with them leaving their equipment here and picking up things in the yard, but Rhino Shield was right on it.
Indy, now get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
The gentleman said, if you're interested, give me a call. And I said, honestly, can you come tomorrow?
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't
Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, here's Matt Bear.
Harrison, trouble in Greenwood crash, closing both directions of State Road 37 from Fairview Road, and we are backed up big time in both the directions right now in that construction zone. Also looking at eastbound 465 stop and go Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road and inbound 69 at Grind 96 down to 82nd. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Shop the Memorial Day sale at Grand Appliance for unbeatable prices, extra savings, and fast professional service. Learn more at grandappliance.com. Grand Appliance, experts since 1930. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Just a chance for a few sprinkles on Sunday. Otherwise, a dry and warmer weekend. Tonight, not as cool, low 51. Saturday, warmer, high of 80. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist David James for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it.
It is the Hammer and Nigel show. Happy Carb Day, Memorial Day weekend. It's a big one here in Central Indy. I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige is here.
Hello.
And joining us in studio, Guy Relford, 2A attorney, host of the Gun Guy Show. How are you, my friend?
Man, I'm great. I'm having a great day. I took this afternoon off, been out on the Harley all afternoon, parked with some of my homies down on the circle.
Right on.
And now I'm running up to do kind of a special Gun Guy edition.
Friday Gun Day.
That's
today.
right.
So the reason we have you in here is yesterday, Joe Hogsett, Boss Hogsett, mayor of Indianapolis, must have ate his Wheaties. Because he felt really strong and confident yesterday.
He's all puffed up. Yeah.
All puffed up. All of a sudden, he's buddies with the IMPD. He wants to be tough on crime. All of a sudden, he's Mr. Tough Guy. I'm going to play you a soundbite here, Guy. And these are the things that Joe Hogsett wants accomplished in Marion County. And then after you hear it, I want to get your thoughts.
Raising the minimum age to purchase a firearm from 18 to 21. A complete ban on the sale of military-style guns, such as the AR-15 used in our most recent attack on IMPD officers. This package will end permitless carry policies opposed by law enforcement, as well as the concealed carry of handguns anywhere in Marion County.
So where do we begin with all of this? Because that's his wish list there. But he also states, now we can't really do this unless the city county council approves it. And oh, by the way, we have a whole new change of the law in the state of Indiana.
Yeah, my favorite part of that guy was the age change.
Yeah.
So you're a military vet. You go overseas for 9 months. You risk your life. You sacrifice your time and family. You're 19 years old. You come back, and you're not allowed to have a gun. Even though you're carrying one for 9 months. So ridiculous.
It is ridiculous on the merits, but let's start at the beginning. And Jason, you just referred to this, which is that we have what's called the Indiana Firearms Preemption Act. Now, that's not the official title of the act, but that's what we all call it. And what it says is that local governments, outside certain very limited exceptions, none of which apply here, simply local governments like the city of Indianapolis and the city county council of Indianapolis, and say Mayor Hogsett, simply cannot regulate firearms. And then it goes on and it gets very specific after that broad prohibition. It says cannot regulate things like the purchase of firearms, the carrying of firearms, commerce in firearms. It goes on from that, and it specifically precludes what Boss Hogsett here is talking about doing. So state law prohibits it, not only prohibits it, it makes it illegal. And oh, by the way, I know, because I've filed more of these lawsuits than anybody else in the state of Indiana, it provides for if a political subdivision, we call them, a city, a county, a town, a local unit of government, violates the act and passes things exactly like what he's proposing here, they can be sued. And they then are liable for what we call liquidated damages for 3 times attorney's fees plus attorney's fees. So if this happened, if they passed this tomorrow, I would sue them the same day, and I would recover 4 times my attorney's fees. And give him a little credit. He said, well, if that law is overturned in the legislature or in the courts. So that's a little unclear. I don't know if he thinks there's some movement in the legislature to repeal this law. It's been on the books since 2011, and it's a great law. It means we don't have this ridiculous patchwork of inconsistent firearms regulation from county to county and city to city and town to town and airport authority to airport authority and housing authority to housing authority, that all these little units of government simply can't regulate firearms. It's a good law, and it's been on the books since, for 13 years. Some liberal mayors, like the mayor of Bloomington, likes to whine about it. And yes, our Democrat mayors from time to time in Indianapolis have whined about it, but it's a good, solid law. There's no appetite whatsoever in the Indiana General Assembly to repeal that law, which is what this would require. And he has to know that. I mean, however smart he is, and I'm not quite sure how smart that is, but however smart he is, he's smart enough to know that. Or he has lawyers who are smart enough to tell him that.
And he's got a law background himself.
I practiced law with a guy. 38, 39 years ago, we were associate attorneys at the same law firm in downtown Indianapolis. And he was a U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Indiana. I mean, he's enforced federal gun laws right here in Indiana. So he knows that. So he's got to be leaning toward this idea that he said, if it's overturned by the legislature or in the courts, that leads me to believe what he may be saying is he wants the city of Indianapolis to go ahead and pass this, and then they'll litigate, I don't know, the legality, the constitutionality, I don't know. They'll litigate the validity and enforceability of the Indiana state statute that he would be violating by passing this. And let me just tell you right now, I will happily help him in that regard. Because if he passes this, I will file the lawsuit immediately. I'll do it in my own name. I'll do it in the name of the 2A Project, my gun rights organization, and then we'll go litigate this. And if he wants to take it to the Indiana Court of Appeals, great. We're going to go to Indiana Supreme Court, awesome. We'll litigate this for years, and then I will recover 4 times the attorney's fees in this, which is going to cost the taxpayers of Indianapolis a whole bunch of money.
So what we saw with abortion was that there were a bunch of states that had these trigger laws set up to where if something happens, bada bing, bada boom, the law changes the minute that goes down. When it comes to firearms and guns, is there such a policy in place to where a mayor or someone like that can do the same thing?
Well, there's nothing laid out in the statute that allows that, but theoretically they could pass an ordinance. And keep in mind, we're talking about city government here. They can't make things a crime that are not already a crime. In other words, the city of Indianapolis doesn't have the power to define criminal penalties in Indiana. So they're not going to put anybody in jail. So they're going to do this through, I don't know, zoning, where if you lose your zoning, if it's a gun shop, if you sell AR-15s, or we'll fine you if you concealed carry a firearm in Marion County. I don't know. But they may say, we're going to put these things in place if the state preemption law ever goes away. And then there's an argument then that they can't be sued at that point because they haven't really enacted anything. They've enacted something that has a big condition in it. And if they do that, all they're doing is pandering to the Democrat base in Marion County. They're saying, look what we've done. We're tough guys.
Right.
We've done all, and it'll have no effect whatsoever. Because I'll tell you right now, there's no movement in the General Assembly to repeal this.
Right, because that's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
Not only do you have to have your city county council pass it, which they probably will. It's a super over-the-top Democrat majority. But then you have to have the Indiana General Assembly come together, pass this, and then ultimately the governor, whoever that may be, has to sign off on it too. There's a lot of things that have to go on here. Or maybe he's just pandering during an election year.
He's pandering during an election year. And listen, my fondest hope is that they say, oh, no, we're passing this right now. It's going to be fully enforceable. We're going to litigate the enforceability of the preemption law. Great. I'll be the guy that files that lawsuit.
What kind of money are we talking here? I mean, what numbers are floating around in your head would it cost the taxpayers if you litigated this and won?
Well, I start from exactly how much money do I need to retire? And I work back from that. No, I mean, I'm being facetious. But, it all depends on how long the litigation goes on. I had one of these against a city in Indianapolis, and they litigated it for 7 years. And we ended up resolving it right on the eve of trial, and there's a confidentiality agreement. I can't disclose any numbers, but it was a whole bunch. I mean, everybody knows what litigation costs. People know what it costs to have multiple appeals and go up through the appellate courts, which we did in that case too. And it's a whole bunch of money. It especially when you're talking about times 4.
Right.
You're not just talking about what it costs to litigate. You multiply it because 3 times attorney's fees plus attorney's fees. If I'm a taxpayer in Marion County, no matter how I feel about Second Amendment issues, I think this is irresponsible.
From the little bit that you heard Hogsett say yesterday, did you get the feeling that he was taking a few shots at Ryan Mears' office by basically saying, hey, we're going to put some of our own guys over there to make sure that if somebody is guilty of one of these gun crimes, as he always calls them, we want them to serve at least 2/3 of their sentence and not get a sweetheart deal like that's been happening over and over again. Did you get that kind of feel?
Actually, it may be a little bit, but I also got the feeling that maybe he's heard the message that the real issue here is not passing, not even laws, ordinances that criminals are just going to ignore, but maybe we ought to keep bad guys in jail longer.
Right. Because the people hitting us up on Twitter are like, ask Guy Relford if the current gun laws are working. It's a gun problem here in Indianapolis, to which, well, okay, but it's also repeat violent felons pulling the trigger of those guns.
Yeah, and ask IMPD, ask the rank and file. Not the guys that have to worry about sucking up to the mayor. Talk to the rank and file at IMPD. They're really tired of arresting the same bad guys for doing the same bad things, putting them in jail, and having them spit right back out of the system, right back out onto the street.
You mean the gun didn't float up and habitually land in those same people's hands time after time, Guy?
Exactly. So it's ludicrous to say, well, ask them how well the gun laws are working out. Ask them the question back. Well, if the gun laws that we have on the books now, including things like, well, you can't carry a gun if you're a felon, you can't carry a gun if you're a serious violent felon, you can't carry a gun, if you're otherwise a prohibited possessor. We're arresting those people. We're putting them in jail. How well do those work? So if you're not afraid of, say, the law against murder,
right?
You're not afraid of going to jail for
which is illegal.
Years.
Last time I checked.
Sure. So now we're going to pass an ordinance in Marion County that also fine you if you're carrying a concealed firearm. You can be fined $2,000. I'm not afraid of 60 years in prison, but these idiots would have you believe that I'll be afraid of a fine because the city of Indianapolis cannot define a crime. Can't do it. Constitutionally, they can't do it. They can fine you. They can pass an ordinance. They can cost a gun shop, their zoning potentially, I suppose, on what they sell and don't sell or who they sell it to. This idea, Nigel, you nailed it. We're going to raise the minimum age from 18 to 21. First of all, you have to be 21 under federal law to buy a handgun already. So we're only talking about long guns because already you have to be 21 to buy a handgun. So we're going to turn around and tell a returning veteran, who's 20 years old, you can't buy a firearm after you've been operating a tank or an artillery piece,
right?
Or a drone in Iraq or Afghanistan for X number of years. You can't buy a long gun in Indiana. It's ridiculous. It's going to be unconstitutional. Those laws are already being overturned in states where they've actually passed laws. And keep in mind, this idea that where he said, well, we're going to ban the concealed carry of handguns in all of Marion County. What did the Supreme Court of the United States just ruled late last year in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin that the state of New York's prohibition on concealed carry abroad, elimination of that right, absent some bureaucrat scratching their chin going, well, no, you have a right, but you don't. The Supreme Court of the United States just declared that unconstitutional. And so a guy who's got a legal background, who's mayor of Indianapolis, who has lawyers there in city legal to advise him, is going to say, we're going to do exactly what the Supreme Court of the United States just said is unconstitutional under the Second Amendment. I'm sorry. This is mind-boggling to me. He can't be that stupid. Well, maybe he can. I don't know. But what I believe...
Anything is possible here, guys.
Anything's possible. He's pandering to his base. This isn't going anywhere. But my fondest hope is that they pass this thing tomorrow because, make my day.
Have you seen the baseball movie Major League?
Absolutely.
Has everybody seen the movie Major League before? There's a scene in that where Roger Dorn goes up to the manager. You let Ricky Vaughn know I'm not going to put up with his bleep. And the manager just looks at him. Shut up, Dorn. That was my feeling about Joe Hogsett yesterday. We're going to raise the gun age and we're going to do this. Shut up, Boss Hogsett. Sit down.
My reaction was just a little outside.
Just a little outside. If anybody wants to reach out to you about questions about this or anything else, how do they find you?
Man, I'm a lot more active on Twitter these days. I'd love to build my Twitter following. Go out and follow me at Guy Relford.
And the Gun Guy show is tomorrow.
We'll have a little bit to talk about this and a whole lot more. Yeah, 5 to 7 on Saturdays right here on 93.1.
Guy, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Matt Baer, what's up?
Eastbound 465 stop and go traffic, Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Over on the east side, I'm seeing southbound 465 with some slow 74 to Arlington. Inbound 65 jammed up 29th to the north split at 16th Street and Speedway, of course. Westbound lanes especially bad right now as you try to make your way out of the track here later today. Please be safe on your way home. Traffic sponsored by Donate Life Indiana. Organ donation is a gift from the heart. Say yes next time you're at the BMV. Learn more at donatelifeindiana.org. I'm Matt Baer with Traffic on the 5s. Follow us on Twitter at WIBC Traffic.
Right now we have got sunshine, 76 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Is this anything next?
Since 1988, Gennesaret Free Clinics has been providing free, high-quality, and accessible health care, regardless of the patient's health insurance coverage or ability to pay. They've served thousands of the most vulnerable Central Indiana community members, including those experiencing homelessness and living in poverty. Gennesaret's services include free medical clinics, mobile medical clinic, dental clinic, women's health services program, and health respite home program. Gennesaret Free Clinics is a nonprofit organization that relies on the philanthropy of the community. They need your help to provide free, compassionate, and patient-centered healthcare directly to those who need it the most. Your donation of just $50 will provide 20 patients with wellness kits and an entry to completely free care. You can make a difference. Donate now by calling 317-639-5645 or visiting Gennesaret.org. That's GENNESARET.org.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, apixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Old National Bank is asking everyone to get old. But first, people have questions.
Will it take me years to get old?
No, getting old can literally happen in minutes.
Is getting old like a complicated process?
Not at all. Just stop into one of our banking centers or visit our website. We even have an app for that.
Will I look any different after I get old?
You may look happier and more relaxed with a banking partner like us.
Definitely want to get old.
Introducing Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Old National Bank. Get old. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Right now at Tire Discounters, a free alignment is included with every tire purchased, even one.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Say, aren't you Ralph, the manager over at Tire Box?
Nope.
Okay.
Anywho, I only need one tire, so I guess I don't get none of your gimmicks, right?
Gimmicks? Even if you need just one tire, you still get lifetime rotation,
gimmick,
lifetime balancing,
gimmick,
and
left one out, didn't you?
And now a free alignment is included with every tire purchased, even one.
See store for details.
Lowe's knows Memorial Day savings, and now's the time to make your lawn and garden beautiful with outdoor essentials at Lowe's. Get gardening with Scott's Naturescapes 1.5 cubic foot mulch. Get 5 bags for $10. Plus, stock up on Bonnie 19.3 ounce vegetables and herbs, now just 3 for $12. Lowe's knows lawn care. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 5/31. Bonnie offer in-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location while supplies last. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Tune in Saturday morning to the Home and Garden Show's annual Call of the 500 Festival Parade, brought to you by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard air dealer.
Hey, it's Rob. I started losing hair around my crown, and my hairline was starting to recede. I went to We Grow Hair Indy, and they helped grow my hair back. My friend Dave First, a sports broadcaster for over 20 years, also struggled with hair loss. Dave, what happened?
My thinning hair was bothering me. For me, I'm in the public eye. I'm a dad also, and I want to look and feel my best. And if I'm going to do something about my hair, I want to go with the best. We Grow Hair Indy. They really set the standard.
Dave, that's amazing. I had the same procedure, multi-unit hair grafting transplants, which gives you more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Call 317-522-2995 for your free hair and scalp evaluation. Find out if hair transplants or PRP is right for you.
If you're thinking about this, don't waste your time or money. Go to the experts.
Call 317-522-2995, 522-2995, or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com, the gold standard for hair restoration.
Hey, Ruthie, I'm gearing up for race day and need a bourbon that'll put my party into overdrive.
Well, Total Wine & More has tons of bourbons to choose from, but this single barrel is always clutch.
Wow, my crew's gonna love this.
And we have a track record of offering the lowest prices.
Woohoo! This low price was definitely worth the pit stop.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at your Total Wine & More in Indiana. Drink responsibly, be 21.
Hey, race fans, this is Tim Wicker from Electric Plus. When you're looking for an electrical contractor to take care of your next construction project, facility upgrade, or simple maintenance work, make sure you call Electric Plus to give you a professional and top quality project with the best team members in the industry. Just like race car drivers desire to be the best, the mission of Electric Plus is to be the best electrical contractor, period. Visit our website at electricplus.com to see how we can take care of your electrical needs.
This hour powered by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits dealer.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Hammer, how do we play? Is this anything?
I am going to run a story by you. You break down all of the information and give us a verdict. Is the story anything or not? Is this anything? A woman shot a man in the groin.
Hello.
Who smashed her car window with a crowbar during a rush hour road rage confrontation in Philly.
Good.
Here is the Chief Inspector Scott Mall breaking down what happened and explaining how police got all the evidence that they needed.
When the 22-year-old broke that window with the crowbar, he actually dropped the crowbar and it ended up in the 27-year-old female's vehicle. So we have her vehicle, we have her gun, we have the crowbar.
Good. I'm glad she shot him. Yeah, who knows what kind of damage the dude could have done.
And where did she shoot him at again?
Groin.
Oh.
Does groin specifically mean Frankenbeans?
I think it means the area. Like there's a specific area from the upper bag area to down to Big Jim and the twins.
Okay, yeah. I think if...
Stop rolling your eyes, Allison.
I think if more...
You chose to work here.
I think if more good guys with guns started fighting back, the bad guys would be a little more hesitant to do what this guy was doing. The man is in critical condition, and yes, no charges have been filed against the woman that was protecting herself. Yes, obviously, I think this is something, and it's something that needs to happen more often when people are attacking innocent victims, like the way it went down here in Philly.
And this brings us to great moments in groin injury history here on the Hammer and Nigel show. This was the guy that was trying to put his gun inside of his belt, and then it went off.
No.
Oh.
Call 911 right now.
Oh, man. Great moments in groin injury history. This was the episode of Cheers where Sam Malone was doing the sports and he was trying to appeal to the younger viewers by rapping.
Time to rap about a controversy. Gonna take a stand, won't show no mercy. A lot of folks say Jock shouldn't be doing the sports news on TV. I don't want to hear the latest scores. My Principals broadcasting school boards. So get your scores from a guy like me who knows what it's like to have a groin injury. Get groin injury.
I don't think I've seen that episode.
Oh, the groin injury rap? That's fantastic.
I've never heard that.
Lastly, great moments in groin injury history. This was a cricket player overseas who got hit in the junk repeatedly during the same match.
Oh, no!
That, unfortunately, is the third time this evening.
Oh, no!
Great moments in groin injury history. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He's on a list you wouldn't want to be on. 76 degrees and sunny at the Circle. These clear skies supposed to stick around through the evening with a low of 51. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:31. A man on the FBI's most wanted list could be in Indiana. Donnie Burgess reports.
Donald Eugene Fields II is an accused child sex trafficker. Court documents say he's tied to at least one child sex trafficking case in Missouri between 2013 and 2017. The federal arrest warrant says Fields has family in Indiana and Kentucky. The FBI is offering $250,000 for any info that leads to his arrest. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The 2011 Indiana Firearms Preemption Act puts a complete stop on just about any local government attempt to regulate guns. That means Indy Mayor Joe Hogsett would face a tough legal battle if he tried to deliver on gun control promises.
The thing to take away is it's a very, very broad prohibition of local governments regulating firearms. So everything that Mayor Hogsett is proposing is illegal under state law today.
Gun rights attorney Guy Relford, he says if Hogsett goes the legal route, it could cost the taxpayers of Marion County. Republican candidate for Indy Mayor Jefferson Shreve calls Hogsett's gun control talk nothing but politics.
It's a desperate play, but it's not going to result in anything because statutorily what he's proposing just won't work.
Talking to WIBC's Kendall and Casey, he says it's time to hire more police officers and fix the infrastructure in Marion County. The Connecticut State House is passing a gun control package today. The bill would ban the open carrying of guns in public and limit the purchase of handguns to 3 per month, while also requiring handmade ghost guns to be registered with the state. That now heads to the state Senate in Connecticut. An LSU player passed out while the women's basketball team was at the White House today.
Like I said, this is not the first time it's happened. Not to her, but to a lot of folks standing up on this stage.
President Biden, who also did praise the team for winning their first national title, he said that team is an inspiration to women across the country. And your stock report today, the Dow finishing up by 328 to 33,093. The NASDAQ also up by 277 to 12,975. And the S&P 500 up today by 54 to 4,205. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:33.
What's wrong with Rick? He's kind of spacey today.
That's Rick's identical twin, Scott. He's not used to answering to Rick.
What's going on?
Rick asked me to keep it secret, but he asked his twin to cover his shift so he could go to Diamonds Direct to shop.
But this is a jewelry store.
Yeah, I know, but the prices and selection are so much better at Diamonds Direct. Rick doesn't want the boss to get suspicious, so Scott's here in case the boss sees Rick at Diamonds Direct.
But that would mean that the boss is at Diamonds Direct too?
Yeah, we have a lot of secrets.
You never know who you'll run into at Diamonds Direct. With unbeatable direct importer prices, the highest quality diamonds, the most sought-after designer rings, the best customer service, the strongest guarantees in the industry. It's just a no-brainer.
You think if Scott had a mustache, would he look like me?
No.
Go where everyone else goes. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Well, what if I shaved?
Still no.
For store hours, directions, and more, go to diamondsdirect.com.
With traffic at 434, here's Matt Baer.
Harrison Greenwood State Road 37 closed both directions right now from Fairview Road because of a crash. The backups are awful. Use 135 instead for now. 37 stops again in the northbound lanes at Epler Avenue because of construction, down to one lane in each direction. Northwest side, northbound 465, stop and go 86 to 865 in Lawrence. Northbound 465 after Penn Pike, something on the right side of the interstate. I can't see it because the sign's in the way. Traffic sponsored by Donate Life Indiana. Organ donation is gift from the heart. Say yes next time you're at the BMV. Learn more at donatelifeindiana.org. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Just a chance for a few sprinkles on Sunday. Otherwise, a dry and warmer weekend. Tonight, not as cool, low 51. Saturday, warmer, high of 80. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist David James for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff.
So you remember Dr. Caitlin Bernard? She's that abortion doctor that went, blabbing to the press about providing an abortion to the Ohio girl who was attacked, abused, and had gotten pregnant after being raped. And the attorney general wanted her license taken away because she went to the Indy Star to gave him all the details. The Indiana Medical Licensing Board determined that, her decision to speak to the press did violate patient privacy laws, but they basically gave her a slap on the wrist, a sternly worded reprimand, and a $3,000 fine. And
basically violating the privacy of the patient to the doctor relationship.
Yeah, she's an activist. It was after the overturning of Roe v. Wade, and the only she was talking about it to one of her other doctor friends at some function, and somebody from the Indy Star overheard them talking about it and asked her if she wanted to go on the record. Oh, of course. I'll talk about pride.
Anything to make those Republicans look bad.
She could have avoided this whole mess and thousands of dollars in attorney fees if she just would have kept her mouth shut and would do what most doctors do and say, hey, I'm not allowed to talk about this.
Right.
I mean, for God's
seems like
sake,
she loved to talk about it, though.
She loved talking about it, and and she claims, no, I didn't violate any privacy issues, and so IU Health said the same thing. They did the investigation, but the press was at this 10-year-old girl's residence within days. I mean, they kind of figured it out.
Right.
So, I mean, she could have avoided this entire mess by just keeping her mouth shut, but she's an activist, and she had a narrative to perpetuate.
Here is Attorney General Todd Rokita.
Like we have said for a year, this case was all about patient privacy and the trust between the doctor and patient that was broken. What if it was your child or your parent or your sibling who was going through a sensitive medical crisis and the doctor, who you thought was on your side, ran to the press for political reasons? It's not right, and the facts we presented at the hearing made that clear. I appreciate the Medical Licensing Board's extraordinary time and consideration. My team did a great job getting the truth out. Dr. Caitlin Bernard was found liable for violating state and federal patient privacy laws on 3 separate counts. She received a maximum fine per violation and a letter of reprimand from the board. The decision is a positive for Hoosiers, a big positive. In order for doctors to create the best possible treatment plan, accurate information is crucial. Without patient trust, the backbone of our medical system is broken.
Boy, if I'm a woman and I have some sort of medical issue, I'm thinking twice before I go to Caitlin Bernard's practice. Might wind up in the newspaper the next day.
She's tweeting about it as it's happening. Guess who just walked in? Taking selfies with them? Good Lord.
What a weirdo.
Dateline, Nevada. An Illinois man was arrested in Nevada after he allegedly stole a backhoe and drove it to the airport to catch his flight to the West Coast.
That's great.
Here is the sheriff talking about Timothy J. Baggett allegedly stealing the vehicle.
You hear of people either getting rides from other people, borrowing cars, stealing cars, but yeah, a backhoe being stolen from a job site and driven 10 miles to an airport for an individual to catch a flight all the way to the West Coast carrying a guitar, that is unique.
First of all, he couldn't have been in that much of a hurry. A backhoe goes about 25 miles an hour.
Right.
If you're that worried about it, maybe steal, I don't know, a car?
Don't steal a backhoe, steal a car. Go big or go home. But if anything, Nige, this gives us an opportunity to play an all-new game, Great Moments in Backhoe History.
Really?
So remember that little leprechaun story in Crichton, Alabama? Remember what that one guy wanted to do?
I'm going to run a backhoe and uproot that tree. I want to know where to go. I want to go. Give me the go. I want to go.
Oh, that was the leprechaun story.
Yes.
Right? They thought they saw the leprechaun in the tree.
Crichton, Alabama, and he wanted to uproot the tree. He wanted the gold. It is card day, and I'm seeing pictures online because, of course, we're not there. Not that I'm bitter or anything, but I'm seeing pictures online of just a massive crowd out there today, man. The weather is absolutely perfect, and it's not just the debauchery in the infield, the people waiting for the concert. It's people watching the practice, the pit stop competition. Sounds like it's a big crowd out there. So in order to kind of get everybody in the mood for the greatest spectacle in racing, I think what we need are some words of wisdom from AJ Foyt.
Hammer and Nigel present Words of Wisdom with AJ Foyt.
All I've had is mechanical problems. The guys aren't got their heads together and just flat got their heads up there. If you want to know the truth about it.
Words of Wisdom with AJ Foyt.
Well, of course, the most important part of Memorial Day is to remember and honor those that sacrificed, paid the ultimate price, gave their life serving their country, right? And it's one of the most important, if not the most important, holiday of the year.
Right.
This coming Monday.
You remember the brave men and women who decided to lay their life on the line for their country.
Playing taps at IMS, always a powerful moment out there before the race starts on Sunday. And of course, secondarily, way, way, way below that, it's also a weekend where family and friends get together, basically kick off summer with parties and cookouts and beer and booze. And now from the Hammer and Nigel Records, our records division, here is our tribute to Memorial Day weekend. We were in sort of an Otis Redding kind of mood when we wrote this.
Okay.
Waiting for the weekend to come.
Oh, here we go. Come on.
I'm gonna get my drinking on. Throw some hot dogs on the grill.
Okay.
I'm gonna eat until I make myself ill. Waiting on Memorial Day. I'll take off my shirt and scare the neighbors away. Waiting on Memorial Day, 1 hour at a time.
Will your shirt be off at the track at any point on Sunday, Hammer?
The plan is no, but I mean, all bets go out the window when you get out there and there's 20 laps to go and I've got a designated driver and
you've had 15 beers, sure.
Right. I mean, I wish I could tell you it was going to stay on, but man, I can't make that promise. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Mom, Dad, Sis?
Here we go again.
Why are you in a suit? Picture, if you will, a world with the best network imaginable. I'm talking about the Xfinity 10G network. Go on. Mom, remember how your reality shows wouldn't load with all of us online? Now you can binge. And Susie, we'll have fast internet in the basement.
Nice.
If you have any questions, here's my card.
This is just your name on a gum wrapper.
Introducing the 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Now through June 21st, new customers can get 200 megabit per second internet on the next generation Xfinity 10G network for just $35 a month for 2 years. Plus, there's no annual contract required and you get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Hey, it's Big Joe for Absolute Comfort, your trusted independent American Standard air dealer.
The owner is Chris Wettikin, and he sells the ductless Mitsubishi Electric Mini Split, which is an extremely efficient and cost-effective way to heat and cool your space.
If you're looking to lower your carbon footprint and you're looking to try to get something that's more energy efficient that works well with solar panels or something like that, these are the perfect solution.
Find out more at AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your trusted independent American Standard Air Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
Denny Smith here. Save with Sundown Gardens Memorial Day sale. Now through Memorial Day, 20% off all container trees and shrubs, 30% off Dissectum Japanese maple trees. Finish up your flowers and mulch too. Ask them about their loyalty program and save 20% off all container trees and shrubs and 30% off Dissectum Japanese maples at the Sundown Gardens Memorial Day sale. On right now. Sundown Gardens at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield. SundownGardens.com. That's SundownGardens.com.
Were you hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident? Do you know who's to blame? Don't trust your case to unreliable witnesses and accident reports. You need to call me, Daryl Isaacs, the Hammer, or visit roadproof.wewin.com, because now we may have the proof you need caught on camera. Isaacs & Isaacs is wired into Indiana's major traffic cameras, and we have immediate access to video footage of your accident, even if it happened weeks ago. Call the Hammer today or visit roadproof.wewin.com. That's roadproof.wewin.com.
Who appreciates the value of an Ivy Tech Community College Associate degree? Well, the state's largest colleges for starters. Over 20 have partnered with us in our Guaranteed Admissions program, where an Ivy Tech Associate degree guarantees admission to their bachelor's degree program. Who else? The 70,000 plus high school students each year who earn college credit in high school and save on tuition by doing it. But as valuable as an Ivy Tech degree is, the real value lies in the better life it makes possible. Let's get started today at ivytech.edu.
Heat and cool places where ductwork won't fit using Mitsubishi Electric Ductless Mini Splits. You can even wrap them to match your decor.
Find out more at AbsoluteComfort.org.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Organ donation is a gift from the heart. Say yes next time you're at the BMV. Learn more at donatelifeindiana.org. That's donatelifeindiana.org.
I'd rather be folding laundry.
This is gonna be fun.
Said no one ever. Also, no one enjoys wasting time in traffic. That's why we love saving you time. Matt Baer Traffic.
Backups are already starting.
On 93 WIBC.
All right, so Matt Baer, let's get down to business here. The weather is gorgeous. It's Memorial Day weekend. This is a weekend when a lot of people probably got off work early and they're hitting the roads. A lot of people are traveling, heading somewhere for the holiday. So if it's all right with you, can we kill this traffic music and have something a little bit more appropriate? Is that okay, Matt?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. For those out on the roads, for those ready for a fun weekend, here with a look at the roads is Matt Baer.
Since you're closed, I say you're open. Eastbound 70 coming into downtown. Crash at West Street. The left lane is blocked. Traffic slow. Back to Tibbs Avenue. Also on the east side, northbound 465 stalled out, broken down north of Penn Pike. That's blocking the right center lane. Stop and go traffic back to I-70. Traffic sponsored by Donate Life Indiana. Organ donation is a gift from the heart. Say yes next time you're at the BMV. Learn more at donatelifeindiana.org. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
This is one of the songs that always just puts me in a good mood.
I know!
No matter how salty of a mood I'm in, when I hear Holiday Road, I'm in a good mood. Allison, turn it up just a little bit.
Were you in a bad mood today?
I'm emotional right now. I got a lot going on.
What's going on? Tell me what's going on.
My baby boy is graduating tomorrow.
Oh, the firstborn.
Right, not my baby technically, but my oldest.
I understand.
Is graduating, and I'm a glass case of emotion right now, as Ron Burgundy once said.
You'll think there'll be some tears as he's El Presidente there at Beech Grove. He's opening up graduation, I believe, with a speech, correct?
That is correct. He's the first speaker at the event, so we got a lot going on this weekend. Then, of course, we're all going to the race on Sunday, and
man, soak it in, enjoy it.
77 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Do you suppose we'll meet any wild animals?
Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs and have some fun.
The dingo ate your baby.
And now Hammer and Nigel proudly presents.
Damn, nature, you scary.
Lions.
And tigers. And bears.
Oh, my.
We have an update, Hammer.
Oh.
On the Florida man who lost his arm to... Remember the story? He lost his arm to an alligator attack behind a bar.
Damn alligator bit my hand off.
Oh, my God. Bit my arm off. His name's Jordan Rivera. He's okay. He's healing in a hospital.
Now, hold on. You say he's okay. He lost his arm.
Well, listen to this, though. He's pretty chill about the whole situation. I've got audio here. Here he is telling the story of how he lost his arm from his perspective.
I didn't lose my life, lost an arm. It's not the end of the world. They got my elbow, so I don't have an elbow, but I can still move my arm around and whatnot. I just saw a little lake, just trying to go over there and just, take a little pee and whatnot. Something happened where I either tripped or something, the ground below me kind of just went down, and I ended up in the water. And that's literally the last thing I remember. Confusion, I was like, whoa, I was just, because I woke up and I was just sitting here, and I looked over, and then I saw my arm the way it was, and I was like, ooh. It kind of just feels like my arm just there, but not there.
Wow.
To be that positive,
I know.
though, you know what? That's awesome. It's never awesome when you lose an arm, but his approach to the whole situation, he could sit there and be, poor me, I'm sad, I'm miserable. You know what? That dude's inspired me. I'm going to be happy for the rest of the weekend.
Okay, there you go.
If that dude can be happy, damn it, so can I. Plus, it makes you say,
Damn, nature, you scary.
Dateline Arizona, Nige. An Arizona man and his dog are recovering after an attack by a swarm of killer bees.
Oh, man.
60-year-old John Fisher, who uses a wheelchair,
oh, no,
was stung over 250 times in the attack. His dog Pippin was stung over 50 times. He says that his wheelchair tipped over while he tried to escape.
Crap.
Eventually, firefighters were able to hose him down and chase the bees away. Both he and the dog are okay. I've actually got some audio of when the killer bees started to attack him after the wheelchair fell over.
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees!
I should have known.
Ah! Oh, my eyes! My eyes!
How could I not see that one coming?
Some of Nicolas Cage's finest work right there.
Wicker Man?
Yes.
Where somebody buried him up to his neck and then put a bucket full of bees over his head?
Right, like a jar head of bees.
The bees!
Damn, nature, you scary.
Well, I'm glad everybody's okay.
And by the way, killer bees, my ass. You stung this dude 250 times. You stung the dog 50 times. Nobody died. I'd take away that killer label pretty quick. Weenie bees. That's what they were. They were weenie bees. Dateline, Alaska. Authorities have finally caught the possum that's been terrorizing the town for more than a month.
Authorities finally caught the possum that's been terrorizing a town for more than a month. In Alaska?
The possum was given the name Grubby by the media. Grubby, the possum's month-long reign of terror has finally come to an end. The Alaska Department of Fish and Game officials captured the non-native animal after pursuing it in the town of Homer for well over a month. Now, this is according to a Facebook post. The Homer Police Department confirmed the wanted fugitive and somewhat local celebrity is now in custody. Grubby will be sent to the Alaska Zoo, says biologist Jason Harriman. Now, I got to be honest, I don't claim to be an expert on all things Alaska. I didn't know they didn't have possum in Alaska.
I would have no idea. Or what are they going to do?
The possum arrived, according to this biologist here. It's at the zoo.
Okay.
So the possum arrived after it was in a shipping container from Washington State, like some sort of delivery on a truck. And they opened it up, and out came the possum. And next thing you know, he made everybody in that town his bitch.
Yeah. How do you terrorize a whole town if you're a possum?
Well, I mean, think about this. If you're not used to seeing a possum and it comes out and it starts chasing you down, would you be scared of it?
I mean, I'm looking at it right now. It looks pretty mean and nasty, but it's not.
You mentioned just this past week, if something from the bottom of the ocean came out and started walking around,
Right.
would it freak you out? Would it scare you?
I would think it was an alien. Yes, of course, from another planet.
Well, the people in Alaska, they're not used to possum. They're used to, polar bear and all that kind of stuff. They're not used to a gross-looking possum freaking them out. So I don't know if he was running around biting people. I think maybe we are throwing the word terrorizing a little too loosely here, but he has been apprehended. A hero amongst us took the possum into custody, and now you can go to the zoo and see the possum.
Looking at the story in the news, the town is divided on whether or not it should be euthanized. Like there's an actual petition or something like that people are signing. So, and then there's another one, Save Grubby. There's a Save Grubby.
A push.
A push to save Grubby.
Like Alaska News Talk Radio. The WIBC of Alaska right now is probably taking calls. All right, let's go to Ken and Juneau. Yeah, I think we should kill Grubby. Oh, man. When we come back, top stories, and we're going to have a lot of fun with Carb Day, some of our favorite Carb Day bits. That is on the way. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose Toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's INFO 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today, then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today.
While the warm weather has you feeling like new, get old with a money market account from Old National Bank and earn a 5.00% annual percentage yield. Whether you're saving up for something big or just for a rainy day, Old National is here for you. Earn 5.00% APY with our limited time 12-month introductory money market offer. To earn the promotional rate, account must be funded with a minimum of $10,000 not on deposit at Old National as of April 14th, 2023. Learn more at oldnational.com or visit a local banking center today. Offer not available online. Member FDIC. Old National Bank. Get old.
The night before the Indy 500, the celebration of May continues with the Firestone Legends Day concert featuring Brad Paisley. With Russell Dickerson and Jackson Dean. It's Firestone Legends Day, Saturday, May 27th, the night before the Indy 500 at TCU Amphitheater at White River State Park in downtown Indy. Get your tickets now at livenation.com.
I put drugs and drinking ahead of my family. I missed important moments. My wife and kids missed me. My addiction controlled my life, and I had a choice to make. I chose a personalized addiction treatment plan from Landmark Recovery, and my family got me back.
Choose life. Choose Landmark Recovery. Visit landmarkrecovery.com to learn more.
Contaminated meds took Carrie's vision and her hope. A shooting stole Ray's sight and his dreams.
To those who experience it, vision loss is devastating. But the programs of Bosma's Center for Visionary Solutions offer a return to independence. Without your help, though, those programs can't continue. If you act now, you can double the impact of your gift to the Bosma Visionary Opportunities Foundation. Change lives today at bosma.org/donate.
Coming up in 2 minutes, a man on the FBI's wanted list has ties to Indiana. A man wanted in Indy for double murder was arrested on the West Coast, and Joe Hogsett has been accused of playing politics. That's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
Wiggle room in Washington. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The Treasury Secretary just telling lawmakers the government will run out of money to pay its bills around June 5th, 4 days later than her original default deadline. Negotiators appear to need all the time they can get.
The president will be away this weekend, but GOP negotiators are at the Capitol. However, negotiator Patrick McHenry says the sides feel the tension. No obvious progress today. The pressure is on as time slips off the clock.
Fox's Chad Pergram on the Hill. The Republican and White House negotiators each face pressure within their own parties not to give up too much. Work mandates and federal aid programs emerging as a key sticking point. But for now, talks will continue. Before heading to Camp David, the president's been hosting the national champions of college basketball, the UConn Huskies men's team at this hour, and earlier, the Louisiana State women's team. A scary moment during that celebration.
President Biden was congratulating the LSU Tigers.
That's what this team is about. Incredible athletes redefining what's possible.
When forward Samaya Smith collapsed on the riser behind the president, medical teams immediately responded. Smith was surrounded by teammates for several minutes before getting to her feet and exiting in a wheelchair. LSU coach Kim Mulkey told attendees a few minutes later,
Samaya's fine. For those of you who are concerned, Samaya is fine. I'll assure you of that. She's kind of right now embarrassed. She doesn't want to leave.
Team captains Angel Reese and Emily Ward presented the president and first lady with jerseys.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Another member of the Oath Keepers heads to prison over the Capitol riot. Kenneth Harrelson just sentenced to 4 years after fellow Army veteran Jessica Watkins got 8 years in prison. Both were convicted of obstructing Congress but acquitted of seditious conspiracy, the charge that's sending the group's leader, Stuart Rhodes, to prison for 18 years. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He has family in the Hoosier State. Sunny and 77 in downtown Indianapolis. You've got nothing on a radar. Tonight's low drops down to the low 50s. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. A man in the FBI's most wanted list could be in Indiana. Donnie Burgess reports.
Donald Eugene Fields II is an accused child sex trafficker. Court documents say he's tied to at least one child sex trafficking case in Missouri between 2013 and 2017. The federal arrest warrant says Fields has family in Indiana and Kentucky. The FBI is offering $250,000 for any info that leads to his arrest. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A man wanted in a double murder has been arrested in Los Angeles, California. It was June 28th, 2021, when Justice Wills and Eric Colvin were found in a crashed car on Woodsmall Drive. Both men were shot and later died. In October, a year later, IMPD found a probable cause to arrest Lamar Ball for his role in those murders. In May of 2023, U.S. Marshals and the LAPD tracked him down. He tried to run away. 2 LAPD officers were hurt in the chase. Ball was wanted in L.A. and later charged in the Indianapolis murder case. Indy Mayor Joe Hogsett's new gun control proposals are completely illegal under current state law, says gun rights attorney Guy Relford. He says even if Hogsett could somehow get these policies passed, it would create a legal nightmare for you.
What we don't need is this patchwork of inconsistent regulation going from town to town, city to city, county to county.
He says the mayor would likely lose because of the state's Firearm Preemption Act. Hogsett's Republican opponent, Jefferson Shreve, says his gun control talk was nothing but politics.
It's a desperate play, but it's not going to result in anything because statutorily what he's proposing
just won't work.
Talking to WIBC's Kendall and Casey, Shreve says it's time to hire more police officers and fix infrastructure in Marion County. One of the things he was talking about was potholes. The average price for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.64, according to GasBuddy.com. Traffic and weather's next. Your time is 5:04.
He's a former coach with two sons who played professional basketball. Satch Sullinger's a competitive individual, but his golf game was suffering because of painful joints.
Right, that's real important. The golf game. Right. As we get older, we create these bad habits because we're relegated to hit a certain way.
QC Kinetics used regenerative treatments, all natural healing properties from Satch's own body, to restore those damaged joints and get his golf game back on track.
QC Kinetics Regenerative Medicine is regenerating me, all natural. And that's what I'm about. I'm going to tell everybody why I'm better.
Oh, and by the way, looks like the competitive Satch is back.
We're all in the same boat, and I'm getting better, and I'm watching them stay old.
Go to QCkinetics.com. Get relief and your game back. Call for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, southbound 37 Greenwood closed right now at Fairview Road because of a crash. Multiple vehicles involved, and we are stopped for a couple of miles. Stay clear. Use State Road 135 instead. Looking at eastbound 70 downtown. Crash West Street, left lane blocked. Traffic stop and go back to Tibbs. Inbound 65, tough around West Street. Then on the east side, northbound 465, stop and go at East 56. Traffic sponsored by Floor and Decor. Whether you're looking for tile, wood, stone, or laminate, you'll find the perfect floor at the perfect price. Explore Floor and Decor's newest location in Greenwood off County Line Road in the Greenwood Spring Shopping Center, or online at flooranddecor.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Just a chance for a few sprinkles on Sunday. Otherwise, a dry and warmer weekend. Tonight, not as cool, low 51. Saturday, warmer, high of 80. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist David James for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! When I dream about the moonlight from a Wabash, then I long for my Indiana.
Race weekend is here, baby. My name is Nigel Jason Hammer. Oh, wow. I'm ready for all of it. We got some fun racing stuff coming up this hour, including our conversation we had live on stage with Ed Carpenter from Ed Carpenter Racing Monday, and our Tales from the Track event right here in the WIBC lobby.
I think we got Ed to loosen up a little bit.
Sure did. I think even some F-bombs, I think, were thrown about. I hope I edited those correctly. So we'll get to a bunch of that stuff here later this hour.
Ron DeSantis has raised $8 million since his announcement the other day.
What does that say? What do you think?
Well, it tells me the glitch wasn't that bad. If he's raised $8 million off of what I was told was this horrifying rollout of his campaign, that's not too shabby.
You got to remember, these aren't the $8 million. They aren't big money corporate donors, Republican rhino type donors that he's been accused of associating with. This is average Joe Schmo 6-pack, donating $20 here, $50 here, $5 there.
But how could that be, Nigel? Because everyone from Fox News to MSNBC to CNN and all the blue check marks on Twitter that paid to be there say that it was a disaster. The Twitter rollout was a disaster. How could it be that he's raised $8 million?
I thought it was genius. Sorry, man. I do. Sorry, not sorry. I thought it was great. Sidestepping mainstream media, going straight to the people, demonstrating that he no longer needs mainstream corporate media to connect with constituents. And it was an expansion of his base, I believe.
And if anybody should be taking heat for that, it should have been Elon Musk, not Ron DeSantis.
Dude, you're like the biggest tech nerd in the world, and you didn't know that millions of people were going to try to log on and melt, and you didn't think or anticipate that the servers would melt. Yeah, totally on Elon there.
So since that rollout, Ron DeSantis has been a couple different places. He did an interview where he responded to people calling him the establishment, like Donald Trump and some other folks that try to tie him into like Paul Ryan and Mitt Romney and Karl Rove.
People that accuse him of taking money from big-time establishment donors as well.
Right. Here is how Ron DeSantis responds to that.
I have not spoken to Paul Ryan since I've been governor. I've met Karl Rove once in my life. They are not involved in my political operation, so that's just manufactured garbage that people put out there online. So if people are telling you that, I'd hope that they'll look at the facts rather than do that. You also look at my record. How many establishment Republicans would have sent illegal aliens to Martha's Vineyard? How many establishment Republicans would have stood up against Disney? How many establishment Republicans would have signed the bill that I just signed to ban land purchases from people affiliated with the CCP in the state of Florida? We're now being sued by the ACLU for that. How many establishment Republicans would have leaned in to support our children against the pronoun Olympics? We banned the pronoun Olympics in our schools. We're the first state to do that. How many establishment Republicans would have banned gender transition surgeries for minors? We not only would take the doctor's medical license, we'll put the doctor in jail if they are mutilating minors. So on every issue that kind of the old guard of the Republican Party would have shied away from in a New York minute, I'm not only leaning into them, I'm winning against the media and against the left.
That is what we call a drop the mic moment right there.
Yes.
That's it. Now, he had a private speaking gig today. This wasn't like a campaign, rally, or stump. He was already booked to speak to a group of folks in Florida. And this is his response to something Donald Trump said in a video the other day. So what we're going to do is play a little bit of Donald Trump here at the very beginning, and then you'll hear how Ron DeSantis responded earlier today.
How about the fact that he had the third most deaths of any state having to do with the China virus or COVID? Even Cuomo did better. He was number 4.
Would you have rather have lived during COVID under Cuomo in New York? Are you glad that we in Florida stood up to people like Dr. Fauci? And are you proud that we are the free state of Florida?
What's going to be hilarious to watch play out is both sides are going to claim that the other person was in bed with Dr. Fauci. Meanwhile, Fauci's right there in the middle, having both guys say that he sucks.
Good for them. Good for him.
We've got some more numbers coming in, Nige, about how bad Bud Light and Target have screwed their investors. So Bud Light and Target both went super woke, super progressive, trying to shove their ideology down the throat of the consumers, and it's backfired. So Target and Anheuser-Busch, according to the latest numbers, in terms of market value, have lost a combined $28 billion.
You know what that tells me? That tells me that our side is winning. I feel good about that. I feel good. There's not like there's any organized protests or online petitions. It's just people saying, I've got plenty to choose from, and I'm not going with this.
Right. Because I've heard some people say, well, the Republicans, they say they hate cancel culture, but look at them now. Clay Travis, who you can find him on Fox News, he does a radio program. He's the founder of Outkick. He laid this out perfectly on his Outkick show.
Cancel culture, so I'm going to define it succinctly, is the difference between saying, I disagree with you because, and laying out your argument, and saying, I disagree with you and you do not have the right to be employed, to be able to make a living, to be able to go to this school. It's trying to eliminate someone's ability to make a living, right? Cancel culture is not weighing two different brands and saying, hey, this brand doesn't seem to reflect my values. I'm not going to consume.
Not even that. I would say, so if you're at a wedding and you have the choice between a Miller Lite and a Bud Light, and it's an open bar, and you're a Bud Light drinker, would you just take the Miller Lite just for the pure simple fact that you don't want to get into a transgender discussion? Right? Oh, right. Drinking Bud Light. Oh, that kind of thing, or even not even you wouldn't get made fun of. Maybe somebody just come up to you and say, "Hey, did you see the Dylan Mulvaney thing? The trans person that pretends to be a girl? Do you agree?" You just don't want to have those discussions.
Right.
Just avoid it altogether.
And the whole cancel culture thing here. No one is saying that Bud Light shouldn't exist.
Absolutely.
Bud Light should totally exist. If you could find people to buy your products, knock yourself out. But it's supply and demand right now. What's the demand and what's the supply? Bud Light screwed over the core audience by trying to shove their woke ideology down their throat, and it backfired. And you know what? They haven't apologized for that. I'm curious, if Bud Light came out with an ad campaign where we said, look, we screwed up. We have a lot of work to do to win back your trust, but we're going to try to do it. Here's how we're going to do it. I think that's the first step to righting the ship here.
Well, they did behind the scenes quietly change some things. They suspended or they put that one woman on leave that went on, the head of the marketing that decided to go with this whole Dylan Mulvaney aspect. She's on leave now after going on a podcast and saying, we don't like our fratty customer base. We need to change our customer base. And there's been some other changes made in the marketing department there. Silently at Anheuser-Busch. But yeah, you're right. They came out with that stupid, supposedly patriotic 30-second promo out on social media where it showed a bunch of horses and mountains and drink Bud Light. It was totally transparent as to what they were doing.
Really, and this is something I think a lot of people need to understand. Conservatives, they aren't upset. They're not mad about transgenders or gays
Nobody's
or lesbians.
Trying to cancel transgenders.
Right. They just don't want that pushed into their face, and they don't want Target to shove that stuff onto their kids because Target had a full line of clothing that was very Pride Month friendly, tuck friendly bathing suits, all this kind of stuff out there, kind of marketing it to children. So you had conservatives dudes going after Bud Light and the conservative moms going after Target, letting them know your ad campaigns are ridiculously bad. Matt Bear, he's standing by with a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer, looking at the southeast side. That is a crash on southbound 465, right around southeastern before Arlington. Left lane closed, and we were back up to south of Shadeland Avenue. Also looking at eastbound 70 downtown crash at West Street, blocking the left lane. Stop and go traffic back to Tibbs. Eastbound 465, stop and go Keystone 269, and southbound 37 crash at Fairview Road. Traffic sponsored by Donate Life Indiana. Organ donation is a gift from the heart. Say yes next time you're at the BMV. Learn more, donatelifeindiana.org. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
76 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, 93 WIBC. Love our good friends down in Columbus. Thompson Furniture and Mattress. My wife and I have a Tempur-Pedic bed from Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. We love it. And if you're not in search of a mattress, maybe, it's the summer, you're looking for some great outdoor furniture. They have specials on Berlin Gardens outdoor furniture. They have Indiana-made Smith Brothers furniture, Lazy Boys. They even have the world's best grill, the Big Green Egg.
Thompson Furniture and Mattress down in Columbus. Family owned, same family since 1927. And when everybody else is jacking up the prices and raising the prices, Thompson Furniture and Mattress still has free delivery and setup if you live within 75 miles of their store. They will deliver the mattress. They will take the old one back, and they won't charge you any extra. ThompsonFurniture.net. Stop by in Columbus. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
I can't wait for what's next, even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hey, Rob.
Yes, Casey.
I was wondering, would you be upset if you lost $111,000?
That sounds like something that would be disappointing.
Yeah, I think so. But get this, 96% of Americans do lose out on an average of $111,000 in Social Security income. And you know why? It's because they claim their benefits at the wrong time.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could avoid this with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy right here in Indy. If you have saved at least $200,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis now by calling 317-932-9912.
This analysis pinpoints exactly how you can get the most out of your benefits while considering the impact of your taxes, Medicare premiums, and other benefits. And you know what? It's free. Call 317-932-9912. That number, 317-932-9912.
You know you can experience the ultimate rejuvenation with our unique hot tubs made right here in Indianapolis. Royal Spa hot tubs are the only hot tubs compatible with Epsom salts. Imagine the tensions melting away as you step into the luxury of a Royal Spa hot tub. And now is a great time to invest in your rejuvenation. We built our inventory back up and now have new models, scratch and dents, and even demos ready for delivery. Experience the difference for yourself. Visit us online at royalspa.com.
Ah, Royal Spa.
Is your Generac home standby generator overdue for annual maintenance or an oil change? Schedule an inspection with a certified tech at Generator Supercenter to ensure your Generac generator is ready when you need it most. GeneratorSupercenter.com.
Tune in Saturday morning to the Home and Garden Show's annual Call of the 500 Festival Parade. Brought to you by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro Dealer.
It's JMV and the Sundown Gardens Memorial Day sale is on now. 20% off all container trees and shrubs, 186th and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. Hello. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer, right over there. Happy Carb Day, everybody.
Little reminder, Sunday, the 107th running of the Indianapolis 500. You can hear that right here at 93 WIBC. Pre-race and the race. And to get you in the mood, here are some words of wisdom from A.J. Foyt.
Hammer and Nigel present Words of Wisdom with A.J. Foyt.
It was Jeff Andretti, the guy.
Well, yeah, he's all over the goddamn track. You don't know where the hell he's going. Kept from knocking him through the goddamn wall. I'm tired of this shit. Got people out there that shouldn't even be in the goddamn race car.
Words of Wisdom with A.J. Foyt.
Man.
Is that broadcast on 93 WIBC live?
Man, I love the guys that call the race, the IMS radio network.
They're best in the world at what they do.
So good at what they do. Here are some of my favorite calls of all time. 1992, Little Al going for the win against Scott Goodyear.
Al Unser Jr. has the lead. One more turn to go. Here they come. Coming to the finish line. Bob Jenkins, who's going to win it?
The checkered flag is out. Goodyear makes a move. Little Al wins by just a few tenths of a second. Perhaps the closest finish in the history of the Indianapolis 500.
Oh.
The late, great Bob Jenkins there on the call.
Got goosebumps on that one.
2006. We were talking about this the other day with Sam Hornish and Marco Andretti.
Last time by. They're waving bandanas, waving hats. Cut the left turn for racing immortality for 19-year-old Marco Andretti. And Sam Hornish Jr. right on the tail of Marco Andretti. Can a teenager win in Indianapolis? Here's the finish. Sam Hornish Jr. makes the pass. He'll win it. Sam Hornish Jr. goes to the inside of Marco Andretti and wins it in the final 100 yards.
Amazing.
But
unbelievable.
Pound for pound, my favorite call in the history of the IMS radio network, Chris Denary, turn 4, 2011.
J.R.
J.R. Hildebrand with a huge strong of fans on their feet, fist pumping, caps waving. He comes out of turn number 3.
Here he comes, the National Guard machine with J.R. Hildebrand down along the white line. He is sputtering slow, and he hits the wall. He hits the wall coming out of 4. Will he have enough to cross the yard of bricks?
Here comes J.R. Hildebrand. He will cross in front of the flag stand with the checkered flag waving, the right side of the car destroyed. Who is the winner of the Indianapolis? It is Weldon. Dan Weldon has won the race.
The late Dan Weldon.
Heartbreak
Forgot about that one, man, for Hildebrand.
J.R. Hildebrand, man. Heartbreak City. We had a fun event this past week. We had Tales from the Track.
Yes.
Ed Carpenter was here on stage, and he was telling us some of the good behind-the-scenes stuff.
I come across the 2014 Indy 500, Ed.
Oh, you had to bring that up.
And you had the best car. You were the man to beat. 25 laps to go, coming off of a yellow, I believe.
Yep.
And then 3 wide happens. Townsend Bell, James Hinchcliffe, and yourself. Then chaos happens. Next thing you know, you're threatening to beat the hell out of people. Do I have the story correct?
You pretty well summed it up. I mean, it's one that still, I don't want to say it haunts me because I've definitely moved on and I'm friends with James and Townsend. But yeah, that one, if there's one that got away up to this point, it was that one. The car was so perfect, and I was on the pole that year. I was on the pole the year before. I led the most laps in 2013, and we didn't win, and it was a real learning experience. And I went into that race just totally being patient. I was saving fuel, hanging out, watching guys race, sizing people up, and I know I could have won that race. James was coming up my inside. Townsend tried to make it 3 wide, and James didn't know he was out there, and we just ran out of room. But there's kind of an unwritten rule in racing. You know, third man in at a place like Indy's got to be the first man out. So in the moment, I really blame James. After I reflected on it, you know, I could have gotten a better start, and Townsend certainly could have got the hell out of the way. But he's very good in the TV booth. He's a good friend. We've all moved on. But yeah, that was a great opportunity that we didn't get to see through.
And then it's what happened afterwards. It's kind of the stuff that legends are made of.
The legend has it that the ride to the medical center, or for whatever reason they put all you guys together, was a little interesting.
James and I were together. There was no Townsend. But yeah, I won't use all the words, but how did you even hear about this?
Oh, it was on television, by the way.
Yeah, so
if memory serves me correctly, and again, it was heat of the moment, it was you on the national broadcast that said, "Thank God James already had a concussion."
Well,
saying
that? Yeah, we were they put us in these medical cars, and we're in there together, and I'm just like raging still. And I'm like, I want to punch you so bad right now. Excuse my language.
Ed opened up a little bit to us, and that was awesome.
Ed Carpenter from our Tales from the Track event earlier this week.
Listen, for all the folks that are celebrating this weekend, this is a tradition we have on this show. Let's go back to the time to when Ari was our producer, and we sent him out to Carb Day for a bit we call Great Moments in Lying.
The Hammer and Nigel Show presents Great Moments in Lying.
I don't know if you guys remember back in 2007 after Nigel Laskowski won the Indy 500, instead of drinking the milk, he decided to just smoke a cigarette instead. Do you guys remember that at all?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts when that happened?
I mean, I was just like surprised. Like I totally expected him to drink milk. So
thinking back to that, you're not surprised by his behavior at all?
Not based off his off his history, no.
We're asking people about the famous 2009 race where Nigel Laskowski won, and then he took his pants off post-race. Do you remember that at all?
Absolutely. This is WIBC.
Yes, correct. But what were your thoughts after he did that?
Well, it was ballsy.
All right, so we're thinking back to the infamous finish in 2009 where after Nigel Laskowski won the race, he took off his pants instead of drinking the milk.
I couldn't believe that.
I mean, I remember being there with my father, and he teared up a little. Like, what was your reaction upon seeing that?
I just couldn't believe it. You know, I'm all about the tradition of the track, and, you know, but it was funny. You know, it was hilarious, but I just couldn't believe that it happened.
Would you believe me if I told you that he said this year, if he wins the race again, he is just going to start drinking Jim Beam and smash the bottle of milk?
Is this the Brickyard 400?
That's what I was thinking. Like, knowing Nigel Laskowski, just remembering what you do about him, does it seem like something he would do?
Yeah. I mean, after the 2009 incident, I wouldn't put anything past him.
Great moments in lying.
That was wonderful.
Oh, man.
Unbelievable.
I love how many people are like, oh, yeah, I totally remember that. No, you don't. All right, let's break down and take a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Why the FBI are trying to track him down. Sunny and 78 in downtown Indianapolis. Your radar's clear. You've got a low of 51 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:29. An accused child sex trafficker could be in Indiana. Donnie Burgess reports.
Donald Eugene Fields II is the latest addition to the FBI's most wanted list. He's tied to a child sex trafficking case out of Missouri, and the FBI says Fields has family in Indiana and Kentucky and occasionally visits Florida. He's around 6 feet tall, 219 to 235 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes, with a tribal tattoo on his right shoulder. If you know anything that could lead to his arrest, the FBI has a $250,000 reward. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A man wanted in a double murder has been arrested in Los Angeles, California. June 28, 2021, Justice Wills and Eric Colvin were found in a crashed car on Woodsmall Drive. Both men were shot and later died. In October, a year later, IMPD found probable cause to arrest Lamar Ball for his role in those murders. It was May 2023 when U.S. Marshals and the LAPD tracked him down. Ball tried to run away. 2 LAPD officers were hurt in the chase. Ball was wanted in Los Angeles and later charged in those Indianapolis murders. The violence in the Circle City's gotten out of control, according to Republican candidate for Mayor Jefferson Shreve.
What we see in the news when we wake up, we become almost jaded to. You know, all the flashing IMPD squad cars that are responding to the shooting of the day or the hour or the evening. We have not nearly enough police protection on the streets of Indianapolis.
He tells WIBC's Kendall and Casey that the city needs to hire more police officers and be tougher on criminals. One state's abortion law is being held up in court. Fox's Ryan Schmelz reports.
A judge in South Carolina halting the state's 6-week abortion ban until the state Supreme Court can review it. The decision coming just a day after the governor signed the bill into law. It now goes back to the original ban at 20 weeks after fertilization. South Carolina's Supreme Court ruled back in 2021 that a similar law violated privacy rights in the state's constitution, but some lawmakers say the new law has made tweaks that could get the court to accept the bill. The latest challenge to the ban coming from Planned Parenthood almost immediately after it became law. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
There could be some rain Sunday.
It looks like the rain should stay just east of central Indiana on Sunday, but we are keeping a close eye on it.
Chad Swain with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says the track should stay dry, though. That rain isn't expected near the speedway. The traffic at 5:32. Here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison crash southbound 465 between 74 and Southeastern. Left lane is out. And traffic stopped right now past Brookville Road. At least a 30-minute delay right now if you're at the end of the line. Eastbound 465 rubbernecking, so stop and go 65 to Southeastern. Eastbound 70 West Street crash out of the interstate. That's good. Traffic still stop and go back to Belmont. Traffic is sponsored by LASIK Plus, the LASIK Center. TLC Laser Eye Centers is the doctor's choice for LASIK. Get $1,000 off LASIK when treated in June. That's $500 off per eye plus guaranteed financing. Visit Save on TLC.com for details. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Just a chance for a few sprinkles on Sunday. Otherwise, a dry and warmer weekend. Tonight, not as cool, low 51. Saturday, warmer, high of 80. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist David James for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
This hour powered by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits dealer.
You're simply the best.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. It's the Hammer Nigel Show. Ron DeSantis raising more than $8 million 24 hours after he formally announced he's running for president. Pretty amazing, and I think that says a lot. To get some perspective from a Floridian, we'll go to the drivehubler.com hotline and bring on the author of 50 Things They Don't Want You to Know About Trump. He's also Breitbart Entertainment editor Jerome Hudson. First time on the show. Jerome, how are you, my man?
I'm coping, I have to say. As a Floridian for over half of my life, and I'm in the doorstep of midlife. Ron DeSantis' candidacy, it's not great news. It's not great news. He could win, and that would mean that he would no longer be my governor.
I knew, dude. I've heard you say that before. You selfishly don't want Ron DeSantis to run for president because that would mean he's no longer your personal governor in Florida.
It's true. It's true. There are many of us who feel the same way. We don't want to share with the other 49.
Well, look, here's the thing, and I want to get to you. You wrote a great retrospective on the life and career of Tina Turner, who recently passed away, and I definitely want to get to that. But tell me your thoughts on the Twitter rollout of his announcement and what it means that over $8 million has been raised since that announcement.
I love it. The great John Nolte wrote a piece, and he basically summed up Ron DeSantis' first act as a presidential candidate was to ignore the corrupt corporate media. I love that. You know, Elon Musk, he gets some stuff right, he gets some stuff wrong. I wish he did not acquiesce and tie himself so closely to China for production of his cars, but be that as it may, I think him purchasing Twitter, which at the end of the day is probably one of the biggest mass media platforms, was huge. And for Ron DeSantis to use that platform to launch his presidential campaign, I thought it was interesting. I think that one of the knocks on Governor DeSantis is I think he's got over $100 million actually coming from a handful of billionaires. So the small dollar donations in 24 hours after his launch, almost $10 billion in 24 hours, I think that bodes well, right, for anyone who doubts his ability to be able to raise money from a grassroots level.
Jerome, what do you make of this? What's going to probably be a nasty campaign here. I mean, let's be honest. It's going to be a nasty campaign. But, man, the way that I'm looking at this, maybe it's different. This is the first time in a long time that Republicans, conservatives, have had more than one good candidate available. Usually it's one person you're okay with, and the rest are a bunch of stiffs. I don't think that's the case this time.
Yeah, no. I mean, Donald Trump has a track record now, right? And I wrote a book about it. Just objectively good things he did during his first term in office, despite all the smears from the corporate media. It's just a nonstop barrage of lie after lie. He actually did a lot of good things. And the book ended here. Ron DeSantis could do the same thing. It's not an accident that he won re-election by almost 20 percentage points. He has clearly won over a lot of Democrats, turning Tampa and Orlando almost red, Miami-Dade County red. And I think he's won over all the demographics of the rainbow. I think he's probably got some L's and some G's and some B's and Q's voting for him. And so that scares the hell out of the left. We like Vivek Ramaswamy at Breitbart. I mean, the man has a very populist message, some great ideas, and he's been inside. He's built things. He's made a lot of money. I love Tim Scott. I've loved him for a long time. He's sort of one of the last remaining Tea Party, Republican candidate politicians. He raises money like nobody else. He's got an incredible personal story. But like you said, I do think that iron sharpens iron, and there are enough declared candidates in the Republican presidential race right now. Look, I want Donald Trump to win the nomination and go on to beat Sleepy Joe. But I do think that we will, if and when that happens, we'll get the best version of Donald Trump. He wasn't perfect in 4 years. I think he was great, but he wasn't perfect. And whatever criticisms his primary rivals throw at him, I think it'll make him a better nominee.
And what do you think? We're speaking with Breitbart entertainment editor Jerome Hudson here. One more thing, and then I want to get to your article on Tina Turner. It does seem like DeSantis is living rent-free in Trump's head right now. What do you think about Trump's strategy of going after aggressively your governor the way he is?
It's classic Trump.
Yeah.
I think his approach has always been to vaporize any opposition. If you remember him standing on the debate stage, 8 years ago, I guess now, with about 18 other Republican candidates, he presented himself almost in the same way that he did from the very launch of his candidacy, coming down the escalator, as a giant. He is a big man who has had major success, and he's got big and bold ideas. He was willing to make the third rail of politics the centerpiece of his campaign. He talked about the absolute nonsense and corruption when it comes to our immigration system, how countries that receive billions of dollars in tax money every year continuously send people to this country who do it the wrong way, who break the rules and break the laws. You're not supposed to really talk about that stuff. And that's all he talked about. And so Donald Trump has always made for his rivals a stature problem. Ron DeSantis has a problem of stature when it comes to Donald Trump. The story is Donald Trump, in many ways, resurrected and saved Ron DeSantis' gubernatorial campaign. When it comes to Joe Biden, he has real problems in terms of stature. 2/3 of his own party think he's too old for another term. So I don't think that we're going to see less of the bull in the China shop. We'll see Trump do what Trump has always done.
Speaking with Jerome Hudson, Breitbart entertainment editor. Okay, probably got just about 90 seconds left here, Jerome. Great retrospective on the life and career of Tina Turner. I mean, she's really the embodiment, I feel like, of realizing the American dream. Grew up in abject poverty and became the queen of rock and roll. Just talk about your article and her career.
Me and my partner on the entertainment desk, David Ng, we really wanted to do a great service to Tina Turner, a woman who has done a great service to this nation. You were exactly right. She came from nothing and made an absolute, incredible example of the American dream in her life story. The way she candidly talked about the decades of barbaric abuse that she withstood from Ike Turner, a man whom without she may not have, reached superstardom 30 years ago, actually, this year. She talked about how she had to escape his brutality or else she would have died. And the incredible thing about that is Tina Turner actually never put herself up as a victim. Even when she sort of didn't have a superstardom singing career for about a decade, and she had this miraculous comeback in 1984 with Private Dancer. Yep. It's incredible. And the fact that, I know people who went to see her farewell tour in 3 different states almost 20 years ago. And you have, I'll say, Miley Cyrus, Miley abortionist healthcare Cyrus, just a few days ago, getting herself in hot water, guys, because she said, I don't really want to tour anymore. I don't feel a connection with my audience.
I saw that,
The stark difference And, she had her PR team walk it back. But the stark difference between Miley Cyrus, who is maybe 30 years old, lamenting living on a bus and touring and giving her fans the thing that they want because in exchange they made her filthy rich. To me, I think we maybe overuse words like icon, but Tina Turner is planets apart from, some of the celebrities that we have to deal with these days.
That's Jerome Hudson right there. You can find his work at Breitbart.com. He is the entertainment editor and also author of 50 Things They Don't Want You to Know About Trump. Jerome, have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, guys. Let's do this again.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
See ya.
Nige, it's a Carb Day edition. It's a race weekend edition. It's a Memorial Day weekend edition of Beer Sample Friday, and it's next.
Hey, it's Rob. I started losing hair around my crown, and my hairline was starting to recede. I went to We Grow Hair Indy, and they helped grow my hair back. My friend Dave First, a sports broadcaster for over 20 years, also struggled with hair loss. Dave, what happened?
My thinning hair was bothering me. For me, I'm in the public eye. I'm a dad also, and I want to look and feel my best. And if I'm going to do something about my hair, I want to go with the best. We Grow Hair Indy. They really set the standard.
Dave, that's amazing. I had the same procedure, multi-unit hair grafting transplants, which gives you more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Call 317-522-2995 for your free hair and scalp evaluation. Find out if hair transplants or PRP is right for you.
If you're thinking about this, don't waste your time or money. Go to the experts.
Call 317-522-2995, 522-2995, or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com, the gold standard for hair restoration.
These are emails filling your employees' inboxes, downloads beaming from device to device, and any one of them could be a cyber attack. Is it possible to keep your small business safe? It is with Comcast Business Security Edge. It helps keep your connected devices protected, and you can monitor threat activity in real time. So this security threat is the last thing you need to worry about. With Comcast Business, advanced security isn't just possible, it's happening.
Get started with fast speeds and advanced security for $39 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Call or go online today to learn more. Offer ends 7/23/2023. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments. New 100 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. Equipment, installation, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Your taste buds will be best buds with Dr. Pepper Float Ice Cream from Bluebell. The rich taste of creamy vanilla ice cream swirled together with the one-of-a-kind flavor of delicious Dr. Pepper. Treat yourself to a pint or half-gallon today.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Needler's Fresh Market and Walgreens.
Lowe's knows Memorial Day savings, and now's the time to make your lawn and garden beautiful with outdoor essentials at Lowe's. Get gardening with Scott's Naturescapes 1.5 cubic foot mulch. Get 5 bags for $10. Plus, stock up on Bonnie 19.3 ounce vegetables and herbs, now just 3 for $12. Lowe's knows lawn care. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 5/31. Bonnie offer in-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
LASIK Plus is the patient's choice for LASIK. Get $1,000 off LASIK when treated in June. That's $500 off per eye, plus guaranteed financing. Visit MyLASIKoffer.com for details.
Heat and cool with nearly geothermal efficiency in places you can't fit ductwork with Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits.
Just go to AbsoluteComfort.org. That's AbsoluteComfort.org.
There's a lot of sexy content on the internet. And there's WIBC, full of faces meant for radio. Hammer and Nigel, Kendall and Casey. Okay, Casey could be on TV. Now streaming every day on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/WIBC.
Matt Bear has a look at traffic.
Nigel, problems if you're heading up to Deer Creek tonight to see Janet Jackson crash northbound 69 before Campus Parkway, right around Brooks School. Right now, the left 2 lanes are blocked, leaving only the right lane available for travel. Traffic is stopped back past 126th Street. Looking at southbound 465 on the southeast side, it's a crash between 74 and Southeastern, blocking the left lane. We are done right now. Traffic stop back to Washington US 40. Traffic sponsored by Donate Life Indiana. Organ donation is a gift from the heart. Say yes next time you're at the BMB. Learn more at donatelifeindiana.org. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
77 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center on 93 WIBC.
Right now,
Hammer and Nigel present
beer sample. Fry.
I got some beers. Let's drink them, huh?
Beers on sale, people. Come down, get you some.
Brought to you by Thompson Furniture and Mattress down in Columbus. Spencer and the gang providing us with some beer from various breweries around central Indy. This one comes to us from Field Brewing there on Main Street.
Oh, I see what you did here.
Westfield. Field Brewing in Westfield. You got it?
It's Westfield, and it also happens to be a field of 33 cars on Sunday. So today we are doing Field Backroads Amber Lager.
Kind of a stretch, wasn't it? This is the Backroads Amber Lager. It's one in a. It was. I think it was Field Brewing's first medal-winning beer. They won the bronze at the Indiana.
Hold on! Don't open it yet. I want everybody to do this together because this is a big weekend here. This is race weekend, Memorial Day weekend. To all of those awesome Americans who have paid the ultimate price so we can do what we do this weekend, on a count of 3, pop a top and cheers. 1, 2, 3.
Cheers.
There we go.
Yeah. Love a good lager. Oh, yeah. Very sweet. It's like kind of a delicate malt sweetness to it.
That just kicked off a big weekend for me right there. I got a kid graduating. I got a sectional baseball game.
You're going to be a mess, aren't you?
The Indy 500. I'm going to cry. I am going to cry grown-ass, gross man tears tomorrow night.
I am going to the race, hopping on a shuttle downtown Sunday morning, and we got some pretty good seats there underneath the awning at the start-finish line.
I'll be over in turn 2.
Excellent.
So, yeah, man, let's do it up. And speaking of doing it up, we got one more hour to go. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Have you seen all the patio furniture at Sullivan Hardware and Garden? Check the specials on all of our patio furniture just in time for Memorial Day. Like all-weather wicker, Berlin Gardens poly, cast aluminum, teak, and more. We specialize in excellent quality, mid-priced patio furniture that's in stock at our 37,000 square foot warehouse. All sale priced at 30% off. You can even choose your own custom cushions on most sets. Get ready for Memorial Day. Come see our wide selection of hanging baskets, bedding plants, perennials, and much more. With so many colors and varieties, it's the best looking selection you'll find anywhere. Looking for a new grill? See our full selection of Weber, Traeger, and the Big Green Egg. Shop, play, experience. Spring with Sullivan's. 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, Cicero, and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan in Fishers. Online at sullivanhardware.com.
Well, if you need new tires like I did, do what I did. Call My Pit Crew from AAA. My Pit Crew, it's a new mobile replacement tire service from AAA. And it's a great way to have new tires installed on your car without you ever having to leave your home or office. They bring the tire shop to you.
The process is simple. Pick out tires online at AAA.com/MyPitCrew. Schedule your appointment and then relax. A My Pit Crew tech will come to install and balance your new tires at a time and location convenient for you. I've seen this firsthand because they've came to my house. And this makes the perfect graduation gift. If you know somebody that's graduating here soon, this is the perfect gift. Plus, you don't even have to be a AAA member to use My Pit Crew. But AAA members do get a discount on their My Pit Crew tire installation. Visit AAA.com/MyPitCrew. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hey, Ruthie, I'm gearing up for race day and need a bourbon that'll put my party into overdrive.
Well, Total Wine & More has tons of bourbons to choose from, but this single barrel is always clutch.
Wow, my crew's gonna love this.
And we have a track record of offering the lowest prices.
Woohoo! This low price was definitely worth the pit stop.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at your Total Wine & More in Indiana. Drink responsibly, be 21.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today, then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
Spring has sprung, and that means spring cleaning. Along with cleaning out your gutters, power washing your home, or preparing your garden, why not add a free inspection of your foundation to the list? You may be starting to notice cracks are leaking coming from your basement wall, nasty smells in your crawl space, mold or mildew, heightened or worsening allergies, or pests or bugs popping up more often. All of these signs point to a major damage building up in your basement, crawl space, or foundation. Don't worry. With a free home inspection from Indiana Foundation Service, you can protect your home and your family by pinpointing your home's issues at the source. The team of experts at Indiana Foundation Service has years of experience in diagnosing and fixing these problems the right way, the first time, with solutions for your unique home. And Indiana Foundation Service has flexible financing plans. Go to indianafoundation.com today to book your free inspection with no pressure quote included. Indiana Foundation Service. There's a reason they've been around so long.
Indiana Foundation Service. Reliability from the ground up.
Your neighbor Mark loves spring in Indy, but he hates to paint. So he called Rhino Shield.
It's a two-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad, with Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
That's because Rhino Shield's not paint, it's better.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
All right, Indy, get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
It was done in 2001 and still going strong. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Summer like you mean it while saving more at Family Dollar. Whether it's a fun day outside, a poolside barbecue, or a relaxing beach trip, you'll find everything you need. From grills, smokers, and barbecue accessories to coolers, inflatables, and pools for the little ones. Beat the heat with summertime favorites like Pepsi 12-packs at just $3 for $11, Ballpark Franks for only $3, plus a variety of snacks from your favorite brands. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio, brought to you by MCM CPAs and Advisors, your full-service accounting and advisory firm where people matter, leaders inspire, and excellence rules. I'm Alex Brown. Indianapolis hotels are getting a significant boost again this year from the Indianapolis 500, with most of the hotel rooms within 10 miles of the event spoken for throughout the weekend. This year's race will be the highest attended 500 with the exception of the 100th running, which is sure to mean significant revenue for the area's hotels, including some of the most prominent downtown properties such as the JW Marriott and the Crowne Plaza. JW Marriott General Manager Phil Ray